Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Collider Live. Full week. Last week, I mean, it was a full week. We didn't really get a weekend because D23, not even for those who went, just in general, there's so much news that came out of this thing on Friday and Saturday. And
you shill.
I know.
Chill and easy.
A lot of great stuff that came out of it. We're talking about all of it for sure. But what a crew we have today, and it's the Macugas, Macugaing it up. Reilly.
I don't know what that was.
Best hair in the biz. Roxy Striar, being Roxy Striar. Kristian, hi, Alex, and the rest of the crew. So thank you for joining us again.
What was that? Hey,
It's a new one. Right?
Hi,
Alex. It's true.
You know that like 10 drinks in, that's how I'm going to just start.
Alex.
Hey, Alex.
I know, it's true. So there's a lot of people that will be going to New York on Thursday, Friday out of the cruise. So we're going to be doing some pre-tapes. And one of the things we'll let you guys know that by the end of this show, we are going to be opening up the phone lines, but we're going to keep the phone lines open from around 12 to 1 today because Reilly and Roxy and Dorina and Roka are going to be doing a pre-tape that will be answering all of your questions. Yep.
There it is.
So we'll have all you guys call in. You can keep calling in for a full hour, 12 to 1. Roka, Roxy, Dorina, and Reilly will be taking your calls. Did you have something to say?
No, CO2 cannons to rent are very expensive.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
you
that's
look
what I
for
hear.
Arizona?
Dude, I've been trying to find like the most absurd. I looked into renting alpacas. Improv won't let me bring alpacas in.
Right.
And
Is
then
that a flamethrower?
the CO2 cannon's like basically a fire extinguisher, but it doesn't like destroy something. It's like really expensive to rent those things, and you have to like have a guy there with you.
What are we looking at? $300? $400?
Dude, you have to bring a guy with you to make sure that like you're
Not
doing
Dewberry.
it right. No, not.
Look.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Do it.
CO2.
So, and we can't bring in outside alcohol because we're going to bring in like a keg and like
they
do
want
the
you to drink
Donkey
from there.
Kong.
Yeah.
Of course. So what we're working on. I'm working on
Something will be fun, and that's
Yeah.
the September 14th show. But we are going to New York this Saturday, and Roxy's very silent because she's ready to get very excited. Roxy Striar will be there because in the main event, her guy, Jeff, the Snyder, gets his first title shot ever against rookie sensation Paul Oyama. Is he going to do it?
Yeah, I really
You think so?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that, or you really think
No,
he's
I
gonna do
really
it?
think so. Number one, I'm so proud of him. This is so very cool. He wanted this really badly. I know that a lot of the competitors want it really badly, but he's been at this for a long time,
Yeah.
and I
That's
think
why he doesn't come into the office anymore.
I know, he's just studying, right?
studying.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it, and I think that Yama doesn't know it's coming.
Wow. You got
I'm
Snyder?
with you.
You got Snyder also?
Yeah, I don't think Oyama knows what's coming either. It's a live show. He's good.
He's
Yeah.
good.
He's good. But Snyder, there's magic that happens sometimes.
live events?
In not only in live
Yeah.
events, but in runs.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen with certain
Kalinowski.
people. Kalinowski.
Yeah.
We've
It's
seen
gonna
it.
be
Sam
a-
Levine comes to mind. Jeff Snyder's hot right now.
There is not a person in his family or group of friends that is not attending this event.
That's what I heard. I heard they're all
can't-
coming to the title shot.
He is bringing his lady.
Yeah.
He is bringing everybody from Boston is driving up. He
Yes.
everyone he knows, and he's a performer.
Yeah.
And that's when he comes through.
Talk
First
about
time-
your all-time biggest backfire.
If you think he's gonna lose,
I know. I mean, it's gonna be a no Yama for me, dog. I don't.
does Snyder call them Yo Mama?
Yeah, Mama, I'll give you that one too. I mean, I want Jeff Snyder to win because I like Jeff Snyder, and I think he's kind of like the perfect dude. He's cocky, he's brash, he's an asshole,
He's an entertainer.
and he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
He's perfect for the league. He's perfect to have the championship belt because nobody brags like massholes brag, and
Right.
Snyder has perfected
He would
it.
be the only person in history to win both the teams and singles in the same
1 year,
In
yeah.
the same year.
Wow.
Same season. Not same year because I guess Levine did it in a year span, but the same season.
The Tiger Slam, if you will.
Right. That will happen, and then Ethan Irwin plays Haley Fouch in the undercard, which will be a singles tournament. And speaking of the singles tournament, this will be brief, but people have been asking for it because you can submit your bracket now for the singles tournament, which begins today for patrons at 2 p.m. Then it's out to the public on Thursday. But there's brackets, and so if you submit your bracket, And the article in the bracket is up on the website, triviasd.com. And this is why I want to get Macuga involved, because he's the March Madness guy. I'm very curious to what his bracket's going to look like. But if
I
you
don't give a shit, because I'm not in the fucking tournament.
Oh, you
you
got mad at me. You're in the team's tournament.
I don't give a shit.
You were suspended.
I
Don't
love
wipe-
the wild
don't-
berries, but
don't-
we're not.
Don't wipe belts with your balls.
You know what? Listen, you want entertainers in the league, you put Macuga in. You don't fuck him.
Realistically, with all the weddings, you think you could have been in
wouldn't
the
even been
singles
able-
tournament?
You know what I mean? To be available for the spectacular.
No.
Yeah, so what is it? You can't do that.
That's what I'm saying.
And anyway, so you go to Trivia
If
SD.
you think I would have made it all the way to the spectacular, you are an absolute retard, okay? Like that, we don't. I am. Listen, I come in for a hot match, okay? They put me up against some doucher from college who's like, I'm a film major, look at me. And then he wins the freaking belt, okay? And it's like, here's Andre the Giant. Let's throw him up against a circus clown of freaking dwarves. Just like,
No golf, circus clown. TriviaSD.com. Get the.
Fire word choices throughout that whole speech.
Sure, I know.
Whoa.
We're PC, you're not allowed to say things anymore.
Let me finish this.
go ahead.
TriviaSD.com. Get the bracket, and then you submit to sdsingles2019 at gmail.com. You put the bracket out by 2 p.m. PST today. If you win, if you're the first person to get a correct bracket, you will win VIP tickets to any live event of your choosing for the next, from the next full season if you want it. And if not, if you can't make it, if you're out of the country and you can get a designed Brian Ward poster of any match of your choosing. So once again, you go to sdsingles2019 at Gmail. All right, real quick. So we're going to go through this tournament. Left side of the bracket, everybody around here. Stacey Howard versus Mark Reilly.
No.
Riley.
You think
Yeah,
you're going to
me.
win? Okay.
Stacey Howard.
You think Stacey Howard?
Well, you son of a bitch.
She,
Get the hell out of
She
here.
is, and I've said this a million times, the most underrated player in
She
the whole
is.
league.
I'm
I
worried
think
about
she's
her.
the most
good.
inconsistent player. And what I mean with that,
That's why she's underrated.
She could beat the best player in the world, and she could lose to the worst player in the
player,
world.
yeah.
So
Have you
it's-
ever played her
100%.
before?
100%.
No. Well, I played her in teams with Clark Wolf back in the day in Wolves of Steel.
And you guys won
we
heavily.
won. Yeah.
You know what she needs?
What?
A good manager.
I know. I say Riley. I say Riley wins that one. And then you got the Whitney Seibel versus the Kid.
The kid.
The Kid.
I don't know either one.
I think the Kid is playing pretty hard. I'm going to go the Kid.
Wait, Cybold was Bibiani's old buddy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Cybold.
Seibel.
Yeah, but the kid is Bibiani's new buddy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kid. Preston or Lon Harris 2. Lon Harris won the first one.
Preston.
Yeah, I'm going Preston.
I love Lon Harris. I'll never bet against him.
Harris. I'm also going to say Preston for that one. Underneath, we got Bateman versus Liz Shannon Miller.
Bateman.
Bateman, come on.
If we brought in Shannon Miller, the gymnast from the 1992 Dream Team, I would go her, but I'll probably go Bateman because
She's got good movie trivia?
Shannon Miller. Yeah.
I think Liz Shannon Miller is a very good competitor who is getting better and better and learning the Schmoedown game itself. But I got to give the edge to Bateman on this one too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have Bateman versus Preston.
Preston.
Bateman, come on.
If Preston doesn't come out dressed as Prestone from Can't Hardly Wait, it's
it is.
useless. It's useless.
I got Ben winning it. Well, no. Yeah, I got Ben winning on that
That's
side.
the toughest one you've asked
Yeah.
yet.
And then you have on that side the Kid versus Riley.
The kid.
You got yourself.
I'm riding Stacey Howard to that. That's
You got
improper
I
use
know
of
you're
words
saying,
again.
I know you're
but
saying.
it
Stacey
is-
Howard. You got Stacey Howard going all the way to the finals.
Correct.
All right. So who do you have then between? You have the Kid versus Bateman. You have Preston.
versus Preston.
Kid versus Preston.
I think the kid.
Kid going.
I-
You have the Kid going to the finals.
I have the kid going to the finals.
Okay.
And who is it? The
You
Kid?
have, you have yourself going to the finals.
Yes.
All right. And
I'm
then
all about Stacey Howard. Best
you got
entrances,
Stacey Howard going
best
to the
outfits in the biz.
Finals from me.
You and I are gonna have a long
I got
talk.
Bateman going to the finals.
Yeah, I get
all right.
that.
Other side of the bracket. Then you have Bibiani versus. Irwin versus Fouch.
Irwin.
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 I think Fouch is going to put up a hell of a fight. I
Yeah,
think Fouch
oh,
I think
for sure.
I think it's going to go down to
But-
the wire, but Irwin wins.
Okay.
Bibiani versus Chance Ellison.
Bibiani.
I'm going Chance.
Bibiani.
That's a tough first round.
Yeah, that's tough.
I got Chance.
Yeah, I'm taking
I
Chance.
think Chance in Arizona.
Why?
Because he's in Arizona.
Hometown.
What's that?
You botched it. Why? Because my mama took one. Come on.
That's good. That's good. I know, it's true. Okay, so then we wrote Roca versus Silvestrini.
Roca.
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 Roca. Horseman! All right. And then finally, Kalinowski versus the Machine.
I think this might be Janine's time to
Think
win.
so?
It could be.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going Janine.
That's my road dog. That's my hotel
You
buddy.
got Janine.
Kalinowski.
Oh, Kalinowski.
Yeah, my hotel.
He's saying a lot of stuff.
Jesus.
My
All right,
road
you got
dog,
you got
my
Kalinowski.
hotel buddy.
I have Kalinowski. Okay, so Macuga for us. We have Kalinowski versus Roka.
Kalinowski.
Kalinowski.
In the ultimate bloodbath of death.
Yeah.
The Kalinowski.
I got Roka.
Okay.
All right, so then
I also have Roka.
you have Roka.
Janine Roka.
You
Roka.
have Roka. Okay.
Roka. Yeah.
You have Roka. Okay. So then you have Bibiani versus Irwin.
Irwin.
Okay. You have Chance versus Irwin.
Irwin.
So we all have Chance. We all have Irwin going to the finals.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we all.
So
we,
Irwin versus. I guess
Roka.
Irwin. Yeah. Does anyone think that Kalinowski? Irwin goes to the finals. So
Yes.
then so for our finals, you have Irwin versus the Kid.
Right.
That's who you have.
Yeah. What a cool match.
I have Irwin versus Bateman. I got Irwin winning his second tournament in a row.
I think Irwin as well.
Irwin.
Irwin versus you. Irwin's gonna beat
Oh,
you.
is it now me?
Yeah, Irwin versus
then
you.
it's fucking me. Fuck kind of question.
Stacey Howard versus Irwin. I think Irwin with it.
So we all think
Bulldozer.
Irwin's gonna win the tournament.
Oh yeah, you got Irwin
He's
beating Stacey Howard, but I can't fucking do
He's
it.
insane. He's the only person who doesn't like legit study.
Yeah.
Although Bateman called him out at Comic-Con.
'Cause he has a job.
Because Irwin said this. Irwin goes, I don't. He's like, I think it's cheating to study. He's like, I just know what I know. And Bateman goes, wait a minute. I know for a fact you called me and we studied about some stuff and you went over this whole list and he's like, you're right, I did do that. And he's like, damn it, I studied.
That's funny.
But anyway, so those are your tournaments. So that's what we say. Those are our predictions. So if you want to go to, once again, submit your brackets, SD Singles 2019 at gmail.com. Cutoff is at 2 p.m. PST.
Did you get those tickets at Schmoe's Contact, the VIP tickets to give away for Arizona?
I don't know if I did. I don't have to look.
I will have two as
Okay.
we get a
So
little
we
bit
can-
closer.
So we've got, because somebody tweeted at me, I would want to come see you in the Wildberries, but I can't afford tickets. So I told him to call into Collider Live, probably do it next
Someone
next
bought
week.
VIP tickets?
Somebody bought VIP tickets, sent it to Schmoe's Contact
I
at
see.
Gmail.
I didn't see that yet. Okay.
And-
we'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, and then like he's mentioning September 14th. September 14th is the Arizona show, and that's the tickets on sale for the SchmoedownLive.com.
You're not allowed to bring any live animals into the Tempe Emperor.
That's you
unless
found that
they're a
out.
service dog.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't have that.
Last bit of Schmoedown
one.
stuff before we move on is that the Shire Wolves versus Corruption. That match is still on. It'll be available to just live stream people for the next week until we debut it after New York. Okay, moving on. I mean, I think we should probably just get right into all the D23 stuff, man. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else that we should talk about? Anything you have any great? I saw you went golfing with D Griff.
I did. Saw D Griff.
Nice.
Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, man, it was great to see him. I don't know what has happened to my golf game, but it's terrible.
Were you the worst?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
okay.
was. I'm usually the best.
No, I
I mean,
know.
not to brag, but
What happened? You just haven't played as
I don't know. It's just like
you
I'm
drinking?
a mental. Well, I always drink, but
Yeah.
and
Maybe
that
not
usually
enough.
helps
That's
me.
just gonna say maybe you
Yeah.
didn't drink too much.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you're the one that says this. But I will say it today. It's the hottest it's ever been in this room.
It is awful.
Thursday was, I think, the hottest, but it's getting there right now.
Can we? Is there possible? Hey, Alex. Hi, Alex. Put that on.
The answer is no. It's always no.
It's,
Yeah.
there's some sort of breeze somewhere.
Yeah,
Watched. I went to see The Good Boys
Oh,
on
yeah.
Saturday.
Love that.
Dude, that's the best movie of the year.
I haven't
It's right
seen
up
it
your
yet.
alley.
My
It's
God.
right up your alley, that
I
movie.
mean, I
Funny.
giggled the whole effing time. And here's the best part is, like, it's a pretty adult comedy
Yeah.
at parts, right?
Totally. The black kid's the best in the whole
I mean, he's incredible. He screams
best.
like me. He screams like
I
me.
love. He is so likable. He is so. When he's sitting there and at one point he just goes. "Ah!"
he screams like me, like, ah! It's just like that.
So good.
You will effing love this movie. Like, Amanda giggled the whole time.
Really?
There were people, like, families brought their kids, and I was like, I don't. And
Families
the kids,
brought their kids?
Yes. But I mean, not like kids, but I mean, like, they were like 12, 13, 14 years old. So, I mean, whatever. But it was like, it was a ticking clock. It was a perfect coming of age movie. The whole thing, I mean, I put it my top, like, just to piss people off because I usually like to do that. My top, it goes Peanut Butter Falcon, Good Boys tied for like number one. It's the
Nice.
two best movies of the year so far.
Yeah.
I watched a movie Do you guys know the 1973 Wicker Man?
The 73,
Yes.
73
Not the
Wicker
Nicolas
Man,
Cage
that's
No,
one,
the
no.
original.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Never seen
It was
it.
a weird movie.
You know,
man.
Yes, it
Have you
is.
ever seen Nicolas Cage one?
No.
That's also
It's even
weird.
worse.
Yo, this was weird.
The bees.
And then I watched another one last night, Sleepover Camp.
Oh my God, you
What-
watched Sleepaway
Are
Camp?
Are you training? Are you training for the Schmoedown? What
I
do you
don't know
watch?
what's
What are you
happening.
Doing?
What are you doing?
What's Sleepaway Camp?
Are
Sleepaway
you dating,
Camp.
are you dating someone?
No. Oh, why? Because they're
Because
making me do
maybe
that?
watch it.
Yeah.
I wish.
You just turn on.
I
Sleepaway
literally
Camp?
was watching. Never mind.
What? No. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, I literally was watching a show with 18-year-olds having sex, and I sat there and I was like, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of these 18-year-olds
show
who are
was
getting
this?
laid. It was 13
Euphoria.
Reasons Why.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at like these young kids like going around sleeping with people, and I was like, I should be doing that.
Roxy, there's 13 reasons why you're not getting laid, and 13 of them are you don't talk to dudes at the gym who hit on you with a treadmill.
That's true.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, so I watched Sleepaway Camp. That movie was good.
You know what else?
What'd you think of that ending?
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah, I liked it. I saw something like that coming, not
You did?
necessarily that.
Okay.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah. Do you know that?
I don't care.
You really don't.
You didn't ever see it?
I used to see the box when back in the day when you go to the
Yeah.
Blockbuster VHS stores.
The knife through the shoe.
Yeah, and I said I'd never watch that movie. And I have never.
I was for some stupid reason before Good Boys, which is a comedy. They played the trailer for It.
Oh, did you get to see it?
And yeah, and I was like covering my eyes, and some kid in the front, like her mom or somebody, they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Boo!" And Amanda was like, "Stop doing that at movie theaters." It's just, not feeling it. Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Okay, good talk.
Anyway,
Good talk, everyone.
I'm doing a show with Sam Roberts, and he's recommending
okay.
horror movies for me to watch. So
I mean,
that's why.
horror fans would definitely recommend that one for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a class. That's like a cult classic.
Yeah, but the Wicker Man, that was weird.
Did you guys have you
It's
guys
like
seen?
naked people dancing.
Oh, wait. Can you bring up the fact that I didn't see this? Someone sent it to me, but I didn't watch the actual clip. Can you Google somebody? Lenny Dykstra punches the Bagel Guy. Have you?
Oh yeah.
The little guy,
Yeah. They're supposed to box, and at the press conference, they.
Lenny
Oh wait.
Dykstra.
Oh wait, the Bagel Boss. That's new. Bagel Boss guy goes berserk, gets cuffed, and taken to hospital. Let's go
For
to
a psych exam.
Let's go to that one.
Woo!
Let's see that one.
His
Really
career is going
extending
as
this
planned.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Really
I am
did.
surprised that this didn't happen right away. That he'd get locked
totally.
up. Someone said, "We're sick of your nonsense." Person said, "Let's see." We got to see
Is
this
somebody
video.
paying him to go erupt in places?
Yeah, so
like it's got to be, right?
no, I think he's a lunatic. Oh, Dykstra.
I think someone is repping him too.
Yes,
Yeah, God,
I have a
absolutely
really
is.
dumb question, like I guess really dumb, because you guys keep referencing this Dykstra person that I
Lenny
don't know.
Dykstra is a
that
famous-
related to Chloe Dykstra?
No.
No, the Chloe Dykstra is related to
John Dykstra, right?
from Star Wars.
Star
fame.
Wars.
Yeah.
He scored Star
Oh.
Wars.
All right, so,
So
let's
who's
see. Turn-
Dykstra?
He played for the Phillies back
and
in
the
the
Mets.
day. And the Mets, too.
It is championship Mets. You turn that up, please, if there is volume. Maybe
This has got to be like a New Jersey beach, it looks like, eh?
Is the guy on the ground the bagel
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Is he homeless?
I don't know what he is.
You're
Here
what?
go Bagel Boss,
Look how
man.
little he is.
Here go Bagel Boss, man. He want to be
Suffolk
tall.
County.
Yeah. What did he? Wow, they locked him up.
Oh, we're getting
It's
more.
new. Damn. Yeah, he's out of his mind. I told you, the guy's a lunatic.
In a similar situation. So I went and did Sam
They're
Basher.
coming around.
Yeah.
Coming around.
They got him. We've already seen this
Yeah.
one.
All right, let's
Yeah.
see if we can find Lenny Dykstra punching him. 'Cause I wanna see that.
So on Friday I did Sam Basher and DJ
Wooldridge.
Wooldridge,
Only two
excuse me,
bands.
DJ Goldberg.
Oh,
Oh
Here
wait,
it is.
here we go. Look at Lenny Dykstra.
Lenny Dykstra's buff. Lenny Dykstra versus the Bagel. Oh, of course, he shoved him.
Is this for Rough and Rowdy?
They're gonna box. They're gonna actually. I don't know if they're gonna box now. Then he's going to the hospital. I mean, why? Who lets that guy get into the ring with Lenny Dykstra?
You ain't swinging up at cheap shots at me all morning.
You're a bum. You can't. That's that fight. They're never gonna see the light.
I mean, that's
That's insane.
It's never gonna see the light.
Lenny Dykstra will destroy him. He's a
But
professional, former
why is
professional
Lenny
athlete.
Dykstra doing that?
Okay, so Lenny
Money.
Dykstra made a lot of money, and then he gambled it all away, and then he like tax evasion. He went to jail.
He wrote a bunch of books.
He wrote a bunch of books. He was in the Phillies era and that Mets era. He was like one of the bad boys of baseball.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was well known. He would have a piece of
Yeah,
he would have a
tobacco.
dip in his mouth that was like a baseball in his mouth,
Oh,
and then he
I
lost
dated a guy
it
who
all.
did that. Ugh.
But so I do
Blech.
Sam and DJ's podcast, and I'm walking out, okay? And there's some like hipster dude with a bandana and like walking across the street, and a guy in a car comes, and the hipster dude kicks the car, okay?
Like Reilly style?
Like Reilly
punch,
style.
kick,
Yes,
kick.
punch, kick. Yes.
Nice.
So the dude in that car is like an Acura SUV. Pulls over to the side. Out comes friggin' old man Rivers coming out of this car. Looks like he's got headphones on, but he's like late 60s. Like he's
But jacked.
no, I mean like I don't know, but he's old man River. He's a bit bigger,
Yeah.
and he gets in this hipster's face, and he's like, "Don't touch my car!" And he's like, "You respect the sidewalk, or like you respect the crosswalk." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." So I start videotaping it. And
Oh,
old
you
man,
got it?
No, I start videotaping it, and the old man looks at me. I was like, "Ah!" And I got real scared, so I ran across the street and started watching it from across the street. These two dudes are pushing each other for like a solid minute, going like, "Come at me!" And the guy's like, "I'm old!" Like they're yelling at each other.
You should have definitely
Oh,
stepped taping
man,
that.
like-
We could watch your footage.
I
so-
know. I was like scared that the old man was going to come after me, and then I was getting nervous watching this situation because, like, if I'm the witness of the hipster getting punched by the old man, or the old man like gets pushed over and then he's in traffic, it could have been a whole scene. But the hipster backed down pretty quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tried to put curtains up this morning. That wasn't good. All right.
Sorry.
Didn't work out well. Drilled my finger.
Curtains are the worst.
God.
Not good.
You okay?
Yeah, it was stupid. It was because I mistimed everything, and then there was a stupid metal bar in the new place that was hidden behind the plaster, and it was like
good.
stupid screw was running around.
Drilled your finger.
It just for a second, and the baby looks up. She's like, "That no." I'm like, "All right, fine, I won't do
What
it."
time are you starting doing loud noises?
In the morning?
Yeah.
I went. What, you mean to not wake up the kids?
No, not the kids, the neighbors.
Everyone's that whole. This is the best thing about this new block. All these fuckers go to my daughter's school, so that everybody's up at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these fuckers go to my daughter's
Because
school.
if at 5 in the morning somebody starts drilling consistently.
Oh, it wasn't
yeah.
5.
Okay.
It was right before. It was. I had to. I think it might have been like 8:45.
Okay, okay.
So I'm doing. I'm like. I look down. I go. I'm going to miss the show. So I had to just stop drilling, jump into the shower, and get here. And it was a thing. All right, now it's time to move on. D23 did happen this weekend, and man, it was packed. We got there on Friday. The first panel was I don't know, it's like 3:30. So we got there.
Who of our people were there?
I sat with Perry. Wendy was there.
Dorian.
Dorian.
Vinny from the website was there.
Mancuso.
Thad was there, and if I might be missing other people, and Ellis was there too. So we all went, and Ellis came through again. I think Clutch should be Ellis's nickname, by the way.
He is
He
such a
tried to
clutch
make that
player.
happen
Always.
for so long, but he's terrible at basketball, so I'm not going to give him a clutch.
He should be.
kidding.
I'm telling
He's
you, man,
okay.
he should be Clutch because he.
He's not watching.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
Because no idea
he's
this
not
show's on. He thought it was canceled
You
2
don't have
months
to
ago.
save face. He's not
there's
listening,
no
guys.
chance he is. The only way is that someone tags him and tells him.
100%.
Even then,
Which
that's not
somebody-
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he tells me, he's like, hey, buddy, and I'm gonna be down there. Got the hotel. He stayed for a hotel because he was doing a gig. So I was like, shit, I was just gonna park. I'm just park at your hotel. I was like, yeah, it gives me a key. Didn't have to pay for parking, which is great. Just walk.
So
It's
good.
like $30 to park over there. So there's the park. Walk to the thing. We go there. Disney Plus. They start and we start. Sit down right away. Okay, what are the predictions? What do we think is going to happen? Because we've been talking about it on this show. We've been talking about it on Jedi Council, and we said, okay, well, we think that we know that we're going to get footage of certain things. Do we think that we'll hear any more Marvel stuff? What kind of stuff are we going to see? And you know the Lady and the Tramp, the Cruella, all that shit. Well, Cruella was is a feature film.
No,
actually.
that's feature, yeah.
Sorry.
I saw there's like this really cool story about a rescue dog getting featured in Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, two of them.
Just so
Two of
cute.
them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I think.
Yeah, but the amount of people who have issues with that poster is crazy. We can talk about that.
What's the
Oh,
issues
have you
with the
guys
poster?
not seen all this? I'll tell
Bring
you.
up the poster
What,
for
dogs kissing?
Keep telling your
Lady and the
story,
Tramp,
and
please.
I'll tell you that all
right,
the
but
backlash.
Spaghetti's not healthy for dogs.
No, that's not the
Well,
problem.
we'll find out in a second. But anyway, so we're doing those predictions, and then I went back and forth when it came to whether or not we were getting the Obi-Wan reveal. On Jedi, I think, yeah, we're going to get it. It makes a lot of sense for them to do it. It's been leaked already. And so I said, it just makes a lot of sense. And I think I've been saying that for a while. I've been talking about them doing an Obi-Wan series forever.
Yeah.
But
Why wouldn't they have announced
well,
it?
because when it was happening, because it was taken, because the panel was only supposed to be, the reason why I went back and forth is because the panel was only supposed to be an hour and a half. So by the time they got to 2 hours, they still hadn't touched Star Wars yet. So I was like, they're at 2 hours already. This thing's an hour and a half, supposed to be. It's 2 hours, and they haven't even done Mandalorian yet.
Do you think they mismanaged their time, or what
No,
happened?
no. I think they had a lot of stuff, and I think they opened up with the High School Musical people singing and dancing and all that stuff too. And that one's like we didn't start the actual panel until let's say it started at 3:30. 3:45 was when the actual first presentation started. Oh wow. So
I've never been to D23, but
Yeah.
like at Comic-Con, you wouldn't be able to just run your panel 2 hours over.
Disney runs it.
well, that's because there's other studios.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, it was okay for whatever panels, even same studio, were in there next.
Yeah, because I think that what they did, and I think Thad actually said this too, that they had done a couple test runs, and every time they did a test run, it kept going over. So I think they were prepped that it was going to go longer. So they test run it to see, so they were prepped for it. But by the time we got and we're 2 hours in, and we were just covering, Favreau and Filoni had just come out. I'm going, I don't
No
know,
way.
Yeah.
maybe not. And then once it started, because they brought out Cassian Andor first.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're doing Cassian first, and I started thinking about it as they were going. I'm like, wait, they might do it. They might
close
end,
it
I think
out.
they're going to end big.
Yeah.
They're going to end big here, and they did. And we'll cover that a little bit more about actually, all that particular stuff. But starting out, I don't know if you saw my tweet about Lizzie McGuire.
No, what
I
did you
love
say?
Lizzie McGuire. I didn't see it.
So they mentioned
I'm with you,
Lizzie
Kelsey.
McGuire, and they said Lizzie McGuire's doing a new show. They bring Hillary Duff, and people are going nuts. And I tweeted, I go, Lizzie McGuire's back. Yes! Exclamation point. Hashtag what's Lizzie McGuire? Hashtag I'm old. Right?
How
'Cause
dare you,
I,
sir.
I missed
You really
it.
didn't know.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was. No clue.
Where did you think she came from?
Rouse. I have no idea.
Hillary Duff. You had no idea.
I know who Hillary Duff
Yeah, but
is.
you
Where
didn't
does
know.
she-
You
I
never
saw a show.
wondered, like, what? Okay.
I guess it's this show.
Like
It's
the same
what
you would
dreams
think
are
with
made
Selena
of.
Gomez
Sure.
or any of them. Like they just
Shia LaBeouf, I don't realize that he
Even
was in
Stevens.
Holes or whatever it is.
Even
So even
Stevens.
I don't know what that is.
Holes. Holes.
Holes, I know what it is, but
Oh.
even Steven, I don't know what that is.
Okay. Okay.
Holes?
It's like,
I thought you were saying you didn't know Holes.
No, I know that I know.
Holes is great.
yeah,
Great
but
book.
even Steven, no, don't know what that is. Disney stuff, all those Disney shows. But
I
remember,
feel like Lizzie
different-
McGuire and
it's
Even
like 15 years
Stevens
apart.
But-
were my last shows on Disney. Once they were over, like I really no longer watch the. And so I don't know any Selena Gomez stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what shows those people are on.
The joke behind all of this is the only person whose life Lizzie McGuire will actually have any play in the next few years is Christian's.
Oh, because of my
Yeah,
my
I mean that's going to be your whole world. So
Well,
jokes on you.
I was. It's not.
I
that
guess with your
no, it's
being
not,
an uncle
It's
too.
the same thing with Power Rangers, right? It's not that I'm looking at this and saying, what is this shit? You're absolutely right. My daughters would probably watch it. Power Rangers, the movie, I liked it. I know you didn't like Christian, but I watched that movie. I said fine, but it wasn't for me. Because I mean, the gearing, the marketing wasn't towards me because I didn't watch the show. It skipped me the same way that like He-Man, I'm sure wasn't for Roka. Roka was 30 when He-Man came out.
Pokemon.
What?
Pokemon.
Right? It's another one. So those things it just lost generation-wise.
I was just trying to connect with the boys in the booth for a second.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the sound.
Trying to show them that I listen, I care. I'm
Yeah,
part of them.
you do.
I'm one with them.
Well, I don't know about that.
Still haven't been invited on their show. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Yeah.
Lizzie McGuire, they announced that, and I was like, okay, what else? We got a High School Musical, where they're doing kind of a riff off of actual High School Musical. They're doing a new spin on it. I was like, all this stuff is
My
great.
buddy
for
from high school, one of the showrunners
Is
that
in it?
knows, because Thad's wife worked on it too.
Right. So,
yeah.
and all that stuff is great for what they're doing. Is they are gearing towards everyone, right? The uber nerds like us are going to tune in for Mandalorian and MCU, but then they're going to get the younger generation with these shows, the Lizzie McGuires and High School Musicals. And the other thing, the show that popped up that I said, oh, they really are going to try to go after Netflix. My favorite thing besides the Star Wars stuff, Jeff Goldblum, runs the world, or whatever
Did
it's
you
called.
see what I tweeted about this?
No.
It's the world according
To
to
Jeff
Jeff
Goldblum, that's what it is,
Goldblum, which
yes.
is twat Jeff Goldblum.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
How good is
It
that?
does. Those letters do make
it's-
that word.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
On Disney, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted at me saying Macuga's not gonna. He's gonna think you could have done better.
No, I
He
think
likes
Think it was a
it.
good one?
He
I think
likes it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You kidding me?
Not as good as William
I'm
Wallace.
lowest coming. Yeah. Oh man, William Wallet. And then I sent Christian a picture back of the Chase Freedom card.
I missed it.
I think that was off air when I brought that
You
up
did,
too.
yeah.
I said I got a really good Macuga joke, and it's like William Wallet. He'll never take our credit cards.
You open the wallet and just goes like, Freedom! Freedom!
Throws the chase card.
Yeah. Should I
should've-
charge it? Do it, and let your mother see you do it.
Should have remembered the payments. You should have.
You should have. You know what I say? Unite the coins.
Unite the coins.
So stupid. Anyway, so all this
So
stuff.
Jeff Goldblum, you were
Jeff
excited about
Goldblum. When that happened,
Roxy.
thank you. The world according to Goldblum. When that show went on, and when I saw that trailer, I said, "Oh, they really are trying to do what Netflix is doing, because that show looks like a Netflix show, and it looks incredible. It looks like my favorite. Like not gonna miss a single episode.
What is
of
it?
that
What
show.
is it going to be?
Yeah,
Like?
So the way that you didn't see the trailer.
No, I didn't see the
Is it
trailer.
on?
yet.
Is
I
it
don't know.
online?
I don't know. I hope it is. But the trailer is Jeff Goldblum running around the world, and you're like, he's like, it's not me, like trying to learn, or what does he say? You know, he's like, it's not me trying to teach. It's me knowing absolutely nothing. He knows nothing, and he wants to learn everything, right? So it's they do have an official trailer.
Okay,
Watch
I
the
gotta
trailer
watch it.
because it's great.
Oh, because it's on National Geographic.
It's the geographic one.
But
Okay.
because
They own
Disney
that
Plus,
too.
yeah.
So that was the show. That was the one that stood out to me. Not only because it's Jeff Goldblum, but because it is the type of show that I'm surprised didn't go to Netflix. So those types of shows you're going to
Totally.
see, the original content.
Yeah.
What was the other stuff? I guess Kevin Feige comes out. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Marvel stuff, right? So Reilly, what stood out to you?
Moon Knight.
Yeah, I thought of the big man immediately.
Yeah, we know that we have Hawkeye. We know that we have WandaVision, which we could talk about a little bit later. We know that we have Loki, but they showed some What If.
Yeah.
I know the trailer dropped for Marvel's What If.
Did they bring that out?
No, I didn't see
I'll
it
tell you
yet.
about it. Oh, but is it released to the public?
No.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you about
I haven't
it.
seen it unless it
What
is,
was
and I missed
weird
it.
too is that things were getting released to the public at different times.
Yes, there
there
was some stuff getting leaked before the panel started.
but then it was
yeah.
gone, and then then Rise of Skywalker came this morning. There was more stuff being leaked, so it was hard to keep up because I was seeing you guys tweet, and then I would
Yeah.
go online, there'd be nothing there, but then
Right,
the
right.
next day maybe.
Okay, so
So I don't know if this was online. What if?
It doesn't look like it was. Right? So I can tell you what they showed. It was because nothing was finalized, and it was just they got most. They said they have most of the cast back to do it. Do you know the premise of the show?
No, I have no idea.
So it's
yes, you do. It's the animated one you don't like.
Yeah.
About all the things
It's like a
that
what
could
if
be.
in Infinity Saga. What if something went
I know
different?
what if is. I don't know what Moon Knight
Oh
is.
no! We're talking about What If first. So the stuff they showed with What If and they show it was very heavily focused on Peggy Carter. So they show when Steve Rogers is in the chamber in the first Captain America, and he's about to get changed into Captain America and get the form, and someone blows it up, and he he doesn't get
Right.
into the super soldier. She does. She becomes a super soldier toward that, and she's
Hot.
all jacked
So
up.
this would be one episode of the
is a
series, or this
particular-
is a through line?
This is a through line for her particular episode, I guess they were showing,
Okay.
but they show her and she takes up the mantle, and they have like this big machine kind of helping her out, and you don't know who's in it, and it opens up, and it's Steve Rogers still skinny. And so
nice.
there's like all that type of stuff that happens
Cool.
throughout it, and
How'd the actual animation look?
cool. Looked really good. I posted one picture of
Was it Peggy Carter?
Peggy
as-
Carter as Captain America. You don't. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna. I have tweeted so much crap. If you can find it, great. But I tweeted so much that day.
It was funny. So Amanda started following you, and she was like,
she had him
"God,
tweets
like
like that."
Kristian always tweets about his Star Wars and Marvel." And I was like, "Well, it's D23." And she goes, "I don't know what that is, but this is annoying."
Right. Understood. But that's it. There's the
Understood.
picture. There's the picture. Yeah.
Oh, it's not live action. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the anime.
yeah,
So that's her. That's her as.
Yeah.
But she's not Captain
Yeah.
America. She's, I guess,
Captain
I
Britain.
Captain Britain.
I won't lie. I actually don't love this image.
That
Really?
image.
Yeah,
You gotta
I don't know if it looks better in movement,
Yeah.
but
You gotta see it in motion. The animation's pretty cool. But they have, a lot of the voices returning. So that was it. That was the What If thing. And then after that, they showed a short with Forky from Toy Story.
All right, Forky answers your
It looks
questions.
funny
remember
as
they
hell.
told us, the guys told us
Yeah.
that they were doing that
Yeah.
when they're in here.
There's a bunch of Toy Story shorts, and it looks funny as hell, man.
Yeah.
Are they making a Forky movie?
Not a Forky
No,
movie, short.
the
little
series of shorts.
Oh, right,
series
right.
of
Oh,
shorts.
cool,
Yeah,
cool,
so that,
cool.
There was that. But back into Kevin Feige. Did they show anything else footage-wise? No. Yeah. The one. Here's the question that I feel I'm definitely gonna be the minority in this room on this. They announced what WandaVision is, right? And they bring out WandaVision, the creators of the show, and they say what it's going to be. And it is. They show this trailer, and it's cut back and forth between Wanda and Vision, having their moments in Civil War and Infinity War, and it then starts to cut with the Dick Van Dyke Show. And it has like this, it's this cool kind of bizarre trailer that it's, and you keep seeing Dick Van Dyke, but then the relationship between Wanda and Vision. And then they bring people on, they start announcing that this is going to be the epic adventure of the MCU, but a sitcom. Mm-hmm. And I went, what? And then I started getting nervous. And then they said, oh, and returning, get excited, Kat Dennings. And I went,
oh no,
she's my
nightmare.
I love Kat Dennings as an actress. Okay. I can't stand her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's not her fault. It's I thought she was in a sitcom in a movie that shouldn't have been a sitcom. And then they bring back Randall Park, who I love, but can't stand him in Ant-Man 2. Same problem. So now I started thinking about it. I'm going, well, for what they were doing in a sitcom, they're aiming it towards a sitcom, so maybe it's creative, maybe it's fun, but I'm not excited about this show whatsoever. Roxy, I feel like you are.
No, this went from being the show that I was like one of the most excited about to this is not what I wanted to see.
Oh, okay.
Truthfully, that's not the part of their characters that like they connect with me so deep in my core.
Yeah.
I did not want this to be.
You didn't want it to be a sitcom.
No.
Ellis made a good point that
I'm very intrigued.
You're
by
intrigued
this.
by it.
It could be great, but it's not what I wanted.
I hear you.
We were texting, and if you look at Coy, our good friend Coy, who's Heroes,
John
he knows this is House of M. This is an X-Men run that they're doing. This is Wanda creating an alternate reality, the sitcom, and then it's going to set up
like
and lead
what's
to
it called?
Doctor Strange. So I was saying pass to you, remember, on text. This is going to be some elements of House of M on it, and now I'm very excited.
So is it going to be like Legion?
Yeah, so what happens is in the comics, House of M, Scarlet Witch was always an X-Men, but, obviously it's different for MCU. And she creates an alternate reality in all of Marvel. So, like, instead of Peter Parker getting bit by the spider, I think it happened to Gwen in that case, which they're kind of doing now. But so a lot of what-if scenarios are happening. They play out in the comics, but they're all connected somehow. And that's the whole run of the show. So there's an element of this where maybe because of losing Vision in the MCU, she creates this alternate reality, the idyllic home, Dick Van Dyke Show, and then whatever happens after that connects to the MCU that's going to connect to Doctor Strange.
Here's my thing with what you just said.
You don't care.
No. This is something that people like the super nerds like, and I use it all the time too. When if you don't like something, they say, but it's from the comics, which doesn't mean I'll like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just because it's coming from source material does not mean I'm going to like it.
I'm just more excited.
It means it's more justified. Like it's justified, but that's not the story that it's not. I don't get to tell it, so I'm not entitled enough to think that they should have picked the story I want.
But it's just not for you. Yeah. And
what was Ellis saying? Yeah.
So Ellis said that he's like, well, he goes, if you look at it, he said Vision is a very funny character. He's not necessarily knows he's funny, but you look at when he's cooking and things that he says, and no. I understand that for sure, but that's my point, is they're not trying to make him, it's the situation and sitcom that makes him funny. They can do that. As long as they don't turn it into a full farce, then I'll be okay and curious. I'm just wondering, now that I know, because I think that they told me, well, Thor's going to be a sitcom. And I went in to watch it, and then Kat Dennings came in there and did that. I was like, well, it's a sitcom. So I think I'll be a little bit more accepting about. And Randall Park, I think, is a very funny dude. I think what's the movie? Always Be My Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He was so good in that movie.
And Fresh Off the Boat is incredible too.
Yeah, he's very talented. I just didn't happen to like him and Kat Dennings in the Marvel movies. But maybe they fit for this. Maybe they win us over. I don't know.
Yeah, and they might.
As soon as somebody says, and Roxy, I couldn't agree with you more. It was like, but it was in the comics. Doesn't necessarily mean like awesome, right? Because
but you don't know those comics.
But I don't know that.
I know
Also,
the comics, so I get
But
excited.
even if I do know them, sometimes I
doesn't
don't
work.
like them.
Well, it's just Star Wars. It was in the books. Yeah, Chewie got killed by a moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Chewie was crushed by a moon.
It's sort of the same thing
When?
as like.
Where?
I forget which novel it was.
It's like, oh, yeah, but.
Oh my god.
But Josh is friends with him doesn't mean that you're friends with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I have a couple friends
he's
that I
very
know
shady.
people. I have shady friends. No, but so as soon as somebody says to me, oh, she created an alternate reality,
You're out. You don't like alt realities. I like the alt reality.
What if it's an
stuff.
animated alt reality?
Then I'm even done for out.
But so, the question for you guys watching: do you think a sitcom could work? What say you guys? Comment. Let us know whether you're watching on the clip outs, whether you're watching live on the replay. Go ahead and give your thoughts. Exactly what you think. Should and could it work as a sitcom? Thank you so much. The other thing that they had mentioned was some new shows, and Moon Knight was one of them. Now, I had never heard of Moon Knight in my entire life until a conversation that I had with Schnepp. Schnepp and Robert Meyer Burnett talked about that's the one that should happen. Moon Knight.
When was this?
When Schnepp used to bring it up?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Back in the old
3 or
days.
4 years ago? Yeah, all the time.
He one time brought up Moon Knight to me, driving to Comic-Con HQ, because we were talking about something like that on the day, and he was trying to explain Moon Knight to me, and I was like, I got to be honest with you, Schnepp, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but this was an insider knowledge of him thinking they were going to do it. He just wanted
Go
it.
back to that one you just had, guys. I'm sorry. Go back. Yeah. So just zoom in, please, to the description. Moon Knight is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, created by writer Doug Moench and artist Don Perlin. The character first appeared in Werewolf by Night, number 32. Moon Knight was ranked by Wizard Magazine as the... doesn't give an actual thing of it. Reilly, when I read that, you got to scoot.
Here's the...
You were looking for a
Riley can read
synopsis?
from
So, yeah, he's a multiple personality situation of sorts. He becomes the fist of Khonshu, a powerful Egyptian god. As his character evolved, more personalities developed, including those tied to iconic Marvel heroes like Captain America and Spider-Man.
And I love it's a series. I love it's a series because I can't remember who was in here. It was an actor that was in here last week, and you guys probably know better than I do. That said that this is why television is just so exciting right now. There's so much more to explore inside of there's something about going to the theater and seeing it big. There's no doubt about it. But I said this on Jedi Council, and I say it for this series too. I get more excited now for the fact that I could see 10 episodes of something like this. I would rather see 10 episodes of Moon Knight than a 2-hour movie because now I get to learn so much more about this character. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited for that. And then She-Hulk. They announced
She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. There's going to be a whole new Miss Marvel character as well.
Okay, yeah. What is so?
She is the first, I believe, Pakistani superhero.
That's right. Right.
I don't know too much about her, but that's how she's making.
Yeah, they didn't give a lot of information on that one. I think that's probably just in the development.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Is she different than Captain Marvel?
Yes. I'm trying to find it right now because I know nothing of the character.
No, I had never heard.
Comic-Con is fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Same type of thing. Anyway, so those are the series that they added in the MCU. And
do we know who's playing She-Hulk?
She's a Muslim.
No, they just announced. That was the last announcement that they said, and also She-Hulk. It looks like she takes over she's going to take over Banner. I don't know if Ruffalo will show up.
It's her own character.
Yeah,
it's totally separate from Hulk. It's just a
Is
new
Banner
character.
Involved?
I don't know. I'm not real big on the Hulk comics in general, so I don't know who She-Hulk. Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, because that would be that's cool though. She-Hulk and Moon Knight are going to get their own Disney shows. Now it's really cool when you think about how people don't realize because Hulk has become like this staple of like the Infinity War, and it took a while to get it all off the ground. There was that disaster of the Ang Lee movie, and it was almost sunk. It was their second movie that they released in the MCU. It didn't do very well. It did okay. I love that movie.
I know you do.
I might be one of the few people who love it.
I like it.
I love that movie.
What, the Ang Lee Hulk?
No.
The Incredible.
The Incredible.
With Edward Norton.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
And I love the score from that movie. I really enjoy that movie, but even then, it's
a shame that Ruffalo wasn't the Hulk in that movie.
Yeah.
Because that's what takes people out of it is because Edward Norton played the Incredible Hulk. It's hard to throw him in there.
I don't necessarily feel that way. I feel like it's a shame that Ed Norton wasn't easier to work with. Yeah. Well, one or the other. Like I think it's not that Ed Norton did a bad job in that movie. He was great in the movie.
I agree. I think that what would have happened if Edward Norton would have stuck with it and not been difficult to work with, like they said that he was. That if he would have carried over, and I don't think he would have the same. I really love Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, but if he would have carried over, people would have went back to watch that movie more.
Yeah.
People would, because it's such a disconnect because you're so used to Ruffalo as Hulk now that when you go back, oh yeah, this does connect.
Yeah.
It is the same character. But the reason I bring that up is She-Hulk. You never would have even thought that would have got made at all, and now it gets to be its own series for like 6 to 10 episodes. Because it's going to look cool. It's not going to. I mean, nothing against the great Lou Ferrigno and that series. I grew up with it and I loved it, but we're going to be a long way from that. Those special effects in this show. So those are the big things. Do we think that not film but for TV? Do you think Marvel made the impact that they needed to make?
Now it's just waiting for the next 3 years to see how these actual shows are.
Execution.
I mean, exactly. If they're great, this is incredible what they've done.
And you say that, and I forget the biggest one, the one that's launching first, and that's Loki.
Yeah.
They brought up Loki. It is.
They showed no footage, right?
No, but they confirmed the fact that it is going to be right after he gets the Tesseract. Alternate reality, so you might not like it because it's. I mean, that whole.
I'm not a big Loki guy, so.
I think you might like this one because it's not alternate reality like fake chipper life different.
Right.
It will seem like a real reality.
Right. It's from Endgame. It's like when they go back and he takes it's like what happens to him then? He gets to take one more adventure. So,
right.
Because he's still.
But you don't like Loki that much.
I'm not a big Loki.
Okay.
So these are all this. Oh yeah, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier they brought up also. That's right. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan came out on stage and talked, and someone had screamed out.
Poster too.
Yeah, they had the poster. Someone screamed out about the Falcon, Captain America, because he was given the shield. So what's that going to look like? They didn't give a lot of information out of it, but these are the stuff that was talked about. Disney Plus series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. So late 2020 is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Loki's actually early 2021. That is not the first one. Falcon and Winter Soldier is the first one. WandaVision is then. So there's no shows coming out this year for MCU. It's WandaVision, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's launching with Mandalorian.
Mandalorian is going to launch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's what comes out.
2019.
Yeah. So we can talk about the Star Wars stuff.
If you want to stay on Marvel, because they also showed us our first look at the costumes and the characters for the Eternals, and then Kit Harington was cast. Remember?
Eternals, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the movie.
That's the
oh,
next
you
day.
want to do it
That's-
on
yeah, that's
Saturday?
next day.
Okay.
We just finished the TV day. So they did the Star Wars stuff, and so they started with Cassian and K2SO. I'm just confused with it. I've gotten into this conversation with a lot of people where a lot of fans was like, "Oh, they can ignore canon stuff." And I got a fellow critic that was on his. There's something that was brought up, and I said they can't do that because they've already set this up in canon. He's like, "Oh, they can go away with it. Marvel goes away from the comics all the time." I said that's very different. Marvel never said that everything was going to connect.
Right.
Lucasfilm did in 2012 when they said, "Okay, we're doing everything from TV, everything from comics, everything's going to line up, and it's one full narrative." So as fans, when you read it, you're rewarded because you know the history of all of it. If you start contradicting that stuff, then you just got to make a statement. It's not gonna connect anymore.
But what did you see? I don't know what happened about Cassian Andor.
That's what I'm
making you
going
say
into.
that.
So the reason nothing yet. But in the comics, they set up when K2SO and Cassian met, and it wasn't too far before Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken. So what does that mean then for this series? Are they going to set it way before? Are they going to set it during that time period? Yeah. I thought it was a little bit way before. And someone was telling me again, I think the biggest problem with Cassian, my brother was on the phone with him yesterday, and he said, "Well, I don't know if I really care about that show because I know what happens." I said,
"Is he a big Star Wars fan?"
He's a huge Star Wars fan. So I said to him, I was like, "No, I think that what they could do if they explore it the right way." Because his parents were separatists from the Clone Wars series. They supported Count Dooku, all this. Do they talk about that at all? And the other thing that's really exciting about it is that if they cut back and forth and show you what the books and the comics have done so well, and that's humanizing the Empire, and that's showing there are and I say that about when the Germans and the Nazis were in power, there were people that were fighting for the German army, that were fighting for their country. There were very bad people inside of that army, and there were people who were forced to do it. Yeah. It's the same thing with the Empire. Let me see those people. Let me see the really bad ones. Let me see the ones that are forced.
Have we seen that?
We've seen it kind of in Rebels. We've seen it kind of in Rebels where you've had people.
So I haven't seen that.
If you've never seen it,
no, I've never seen Rebels.
No, I don't think you've ever seen it in
That's
the films.
interesting.
Yeah.
And it's in Lost Stars.
It's in the book.
Yeah, in the book.
If there's ever a book in Star Wars you should read,
Lost
it's Lost Stars.
I'll read it then.
phenomenal.
You love it.
Yeah.
Is it on tape? I'm not very good at
Yes,
actually
that's
reading
how I
words.
did it.
Okay.
It is.
Don't do what I did and read A Fault in Your Stars. There is nothing
Very
in
different.
there
Friends.
about
Yeah,
Very
that's
No
been
Empire
there,
connection.
done.
Yeah.
Been there, done
No
that.
back to tanks in that one. But anyway, so they and there wasn't a lot said. The only thing that was said that I saw as a slip up.
Who's speaking?
Cassian Andor was
Kathleen Kennedy?
is Diego Luna, who was with Kathleen Kennedy and
Alan
Tudyk. They were
Okay.
all on stage together.
He plays the droid, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and they had some banter and they were going back and forth. And Kathleen Kennedy was like, "Yeah, don't really say anything yet because they don't start shooting until next year." So he said something along the lines of that the show was 10 episodes, but then said, "Oh, it could be something else. It could, or it could be less." But I think that he
slipped.
or more. I think he slipped. And I
You
they
think
were-
that's too many?
No. I think 10 hours 10 hours of material is good if they set it up the right way. I'm actually very optimistic. When I tweeted out my anticipated stuff for Star Wars, and it goes number 1 is Mandalorian, number 2 is Obi-Wan, number 3 is Episode 9, number 4 is Clone Wars, and then number 5 is Cassian. And that's not because I don't care. It's just I happen to want to see those other ones a little bit more. But I'm very intrigued by Cassian and K2SO.
Do you think that there's any chance there's a season 2 of a Cassian Andor show?
The way that they made it seem that there could be.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when does it take place? And,
Yeah.
how does it lead, and is there an arc to because it's the
He
the
dies in
showrunner-
Rogue One, right?
He does. It's
Yeah.
the showrunner of the Americans
Oh shit.
that's running.
And
this.
that's Josh and my shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That show.
That's what I'm saying. So I think
And if
it's
it's
gonna be
like
pretty dark.
a political, if it's like a political kind
But-
of
I
drama,
think it will
That's-
be.
I think
But
it will
what
be.
he's
Yeah.
known for, but what I don't even know what the showrunner's name is, but the showrunner obviously is okay with very slow.
Yes.
Very slow. Americans is one of my favorite, maybe
Yeah.
top 10 shows of all time.
But it is slow.
But it's slow burn.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing: is that Star Wars politics, when done right, are brilliant. When they're done terrible, you get some of the stuff that happened in the prequels. But like Claudia Gray, who wrote The Lost Stars, she also did Bloodline from the Star Wars, and the politics in that are impeccable, so good. And I think that you could carry
Wow,
that
your
over.
face said awful, but your words said impeccable.
Yes, I always thought you were going to
Yeah.
go awful there.
It was,
Right.
it
No,
was
it was good.
impeccable.
It was impeccable. Just like there's no arguing against it.
Got it. Game over.
Game over. So I think that there's some potential with this series. But then
Stephen Schiff is the
Stephen Schiff,
gentleman's
that's right.
name.
But then
the showrunner?
the meat of that presentation was Favreau and Filoni, and they come out and they start talking about the Mandalorian, and there's a lot of the same shtick that they did from Celebration. And Perry said it too, but it's a good shtick, and it absolutely is a good shtick. They bounce back and forth one another. They told the Boba Fett sock story, and so basically, Favreau for the longest time wanted to get involved in this and he wrote like a script for I think it was for Boba Fett. They didn't say it, but he wrote something that he wanted Filoni to read. And Filoni's like, I'll get to it. I'm on vacation, and he's like, I've knitted these socks faster than you've read this script, and it was a Boba Fett socks, right? So he did, and they just
That's
talked about
funny.
yeah,
That's
and then
good.
they kind of goofed around because when Filoni took Favreau to Celebration. It was Favreau's first Celebration, but this was Filoni's first D23. So went through all that. Then
What percentage of the people in the audience at Celebration do you think are in the audience at D23 for this panel?
probably limited because they're expensive.
Okay.
And I think that
So
that's,
you think it's worth telling the story?
Of course,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah, because there are a lot of Disney fans there besides just Star Wars fans. Where Celebration is Star Wars. This was Disney in general. So they showed the trailer, and I had forgotten. I thought that there was an extended scene that they showed at Celebration that I thought wasn't aired. I didn't realize it didn't air anything.
Yeah,
nothing. So the first thing that was sent. Did you finally see the trailer? I know you saw that
Well,
leak.
remember you
thing.
showed me the leak thing.
Scene.
Yeah. But I saw the trailer.
You saw the trailer, and do you love it?
It's awesome.
It's great. What did you think of the trailer? Was it the first time you saw it?
Yeah. Well, I had seen the leaked thing as well.
Okay.
And
We watched it together.
Yeah, but it looks. This show has me so excited. I'm trying to be chill.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to be like, to already write this show off as great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. There's nothing about it that I didn't like the way it looked. It seems cool. It seems gritty. It seems raw. I just am feeling it. And then I'm like,
Bring it down.
Yeah,
Expectations,
just
yeah.
chill. Just chill.
Well, for me, because I think I tweeted out, I was like, I have no idea what this show is about, other than the fact that it's bounty hunters, basically. Because I don't know any. I mean, I know Boba Fett, I know all that kind of stuff, but nothing from the trailer tells me exactly what the show is about. And I think that's a beautiful part of a trailer.
Are you on board a little bit more? Because when we saw it at Celebration, you weren't loving it.
Yeah, I'm completely on board. To start this
changed?
thing with
The opening shot with
the
all those
opening shot
spikes.
with all the stormtrooper heads on spikes. I went, okay, they're going adult.
Yeah.
They're going completely adult. subtle. The tone was very much in
You didn't
line
get
with
that
what
from
I want.
Celebration, that
I
they
got
were
that
going
from
dark?
no, I
Okay.
absolutely got that from Celebrations, but there was something about it that it didn't hit me like it hit you. This one, though, seeing it presented the way it is with the music and this and that, and that we're so close, I went, wait a minute. Okay, it just, I don't know.
It's
just hit
really
me differently.
hard when you're viewing something one time, can't rewind, can't watch
Right.
again.
Yeah.
There's a room full of people. Maybe you're concentrating on the visuals, other people are thinking about the music. Like, it's hard when you see something once that it affects everybody differently.
I'm a Rise of Skywalker. That's my number one most
Yeah.
anticipated. So I got Rise of Skywalker at Celebrations and Mandalorian, and I was just talking about Rise of Skywalker the whole time. This one, I got to focus and look at it, see the tone they were going for, hear the music that they added. There's new music. It just got me.
Yeah, and the reason it's been my most anticipated for
always has,
for a
I know.
long time.
Yeah, I remember I asked you
Yeah.
if you could only see one this year,
Mandalorian.
and that's what you said.
I
that
would
blew
struggle.
me away.
I would struggle with Obi-Wan right now. I would struggle if you told me Obi-Wan and Mandalorian. Like when I say 1 and 2, it's close. It's very close because of that reason. You have so much time to explore the lore of Star Wars and get really deep into it and expand on these characters that it's hard to crush into a 2-hour and 35-minute movie. If you told me we were getting the last movie in 10 episodes on Disney Plus, I would take that over a theatrical release because I would be able to explore more with it. I get it, and I understand seeing it in the big screen and hearing it in the theater and being in a crowd. It's all great stuff, but give me it every day for 1 hour. I get to go into the world of Star Wars, and I get to do that 10 times with one particular show. And now I get to do it 20 times with Mandalorian because they're doing season 2.
Yeah.
But at least when you go to the theater, then you can't be interrupted by wife, kids. Like, I imagine you trying to watch 10
I got
episodes.
an office now, and I'm locking myself into it.
There it is.
And they know for that particular show that you don't bother me.
Don't bother Dad.
That's my Game of Thrones now. Like that's things I love Game of Thrones. There's a lot of shows that I've loved. I've been waiting for a Star Wars series for a very long time. They were supposed to do it, and these are the guys that
live action.
Filoni's my favorite Star Wars executive. And the fact that he is now doing this with Favreau, who I find to be a very, very creative director, loves Star Wars, is doing this because of it, and everything you hear on set, it feels like the original trilogy. They're taking it.
It looks it.
Did they say they were going to release them all at once, or
No,
did
they didn't say anything. They made no announcement about
so-
them.
Yeah,
I
we
still
do. We
think-
know.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, the news broke over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Around Saturday, it's going to be weekly.
Weekly.
Yeah, released weekly.
I still think they're going to drop a few and then weekly.
They just said
The,
no.
They
right?
said
the
one a
report
week?
says one a week. Yep. So Disney Plus episodes
hope
are
they-
released
I want them to do
weekly.
Hulu.
Mandalorian starts November 12th.
Initially, I was like, no, give me all at once. I'm okay with it.
I like
Because
this.
It was something you said, actually, and you're 100% right, Roxy, and that's once you watch it and binge, we're going to talk about it for 2 days,
And then it's
over.
gone.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
want people talking about Mandalorian every week. They want people to talk about it. They want people to say it because it's that. If you
And-
think about it, it's because it's the hook.
They want people to spend the money over 2.5 months.
Yeah, as opposed
Because-
to the
By the
trial.
way, I'm such an idiot for not
Yeah.
doing this. They offered a deal there, and I just didn't know how to where to go. It was like something like the first 3 years of Disney Plus for like $135.
Yeah.
What
Jesus.
happened? You just
I didn't.
you blew
I
it.
didn't. They didn't show me where
You
to go.
blew it!
Oh, I got it. You know what we'll do is we'll come back to the rest of. We'll finish up the rest of the Mandalorian stuff and Obi-Wan after the break, and then we'll get into the feature film stuff. But I do have to tell this story because I'm walking out with Perry, and we're leaving. This is the feature film thing. We're leaving at the end. They were giving away the poster for the Rise of Skywalker, and
Which was dope.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like it, but anyway,
Looks like the end of Sith.
it does.
Which I dig.
And there's like this group, they cattle you out, right? It's just like a herd. You're just going and you're walking out and you're trying to get to the right because they're handing out these posters. So everyone's going towards the posters. And I have my backpack on. And come closer to me, Josh, real quick. I literally go like this, Rox. I take my bag scrapes and I hear this, "Stop bumping me!" And I go, "Whoa!" And I look over and there's this lady. She's like, "Don't bump me!"
Oh,
and I'm
boy.
like,
Here we go.
And I said to her, I go, "It's Disney stuff. Smile."
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? It wasn't on purpose. I know it wasn't on purpose, but you're bumping me. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh my
shit.
God. And I look at Perry. I go, she's very upset because I bumped her. I was like, some people get upset for the wrong reasons, and whoever she's with going, we can still hear you. And I go, yeah, I know, because
standing
you're
right there.
very upset.
Yeah.
And then I walk over and I get a poster, right? And I hear her, "Oh, he's gonna get the poster before we did." And I grab the poster and I give it to the woman.
Absolutely.
And the woman,
Did she think it was going to run
fuck
out?
yeah.
And the woman holding, goes, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to hang them out." I hand them out to everyone. I said, "This woman's very upset. She needs a poster now."
Yeah.
And I was like, she needs to get the poster now because she's very upset.
Yeah.
And I think there are things that you probably could get upset. Things are probably more important to get upset, like not getting invited to a theme park. All right, so we are going to go on the break. And when we get back, we'll talk more about, the Mandalorian. We'll talk about Obi-Wan. Then we're going to get into the film stuff.
Alex and I want the posters for the right, Alex? Yeah. Shut up, Alex.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemerov here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared, hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the two biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh Macuga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us. 3 p.m. PT live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh Macuga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real. Applesauce and bananas. That's the new name of the show here today.
Raise a Sith, huh?
Jesus. We're not talking about that shit.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Macuga has turned into John Roca.
Hey.
And
Look at that.
We talked.
A doughier version of Josh Macuga is.
I want your ass.
we did our singles tournament.
Breakdown.
Our predictions. Everyone had you going to the quarterfinals.
Wow.
For sure. I think I had you in the semi.
How does it work? Like if I win one, I make the quarters,
Yeah, you make the quarter
and then the
semis,
semis, then the finals
Yes.
in Orlando.
Yeah.
So nobody had me going to the finals.
I had you.
I have myself going.
Yeah,
Well,
I had,
so that's fair.
I had you in the semis
Wait, I
against
feel
Ethan.
like I. Oh no, I didn't. I had the kid versus Erwin.
I have Ethan. I have
Ethan
you
will
versus-
get upset. That's my prediction.
You think in by either Haley?
I think Haley's going to upset Ethan.
You do in New York.
In New York.
That wasn't. I think it'd be a fight.
When was the last time Ethan was in New York?
I know it was January. He
11th.
lost. Yeah, but he played. But Dan
he lost.
Dan needed
Yeah.
a perfect game to beat him.
New York
I know.
is not a good place
And
for
we
Ethan Irwin.
got it.
Haley's good.
Really good.
Sneaky good.
Haley's smart.
I don't know. We're gonna see. Perfect. Okay, let's finish
have
up.
them all?
Let's finish up the Disney Plus stuff because we talked about
The Mandalorian.
We were right in the Mandalorian. And we get into the trailer, and so everybody agreed that the trailer just knocked us off our asses. I know you really like the trailer
loved
also,
it.
and it's just very OT original trilogy style that I think just shook it up, man, and it looks good. And they debut it with the service on November 12th. It's the first episode. What's wrong, Ryan?
No. Internet problems. You keep talking.
First episode.
So what happens? Do you guys know the service launches and you can log in? It will be there. You can't log in until that show's available, or how does it all work?
Right. Yeah, I think you log into it, and I think it's
And it's
all
that,
the content.
and that's there.
It's dropping
Yeah, it's
with it
basically
at the same
yeah.
time.
So everything when you subscribe on and you join in for the first time on November 12th, all the stuff that they mention on November 12th will be there. So I think that also the High School Musical, all that stuff. And you're not going to no MCU stuff comes until 2020. So this is all the stuff that comes. This is okay. Okay, good. So this is what I guess is dropping on.
Ooh, what's Diary of a Female President?
No. That's they talked about that also. So,
On the 12th, it just says Mandalorian and High School Musical.
Okay. Diary of a Female President is the Gina Rodriguez.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, cool.
And Marvel's Hero Project, Encore, The Imagineering Story, and The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
I cannot wait.
So that's all on the 12th.
Yes.
Yeah, but what are you going to do when your show? You're not going to not watch Mandalorian.
Of course.
So you're going to just wait and then watch Jeff Goldblum's show?
Yeah.
You don't have time to watch 2 shows in one night?
I don't think you understand why I got this off. Okay, so we have.
Babes, I got to get some in the office.
I will be in the office.
2
We'll be
hours
there for an
later.
hour. I installed a bathroom in there.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
fell down and something landed on me and I was trapped.
for an hour and a half, and I had to do it twice. I watched, we watched this trailer, and as it's going, I then turn to Perry. I go, yeah, I think the Obi-Wan thing's coming.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
The trailer?
No,
the
the
announcement.
announcement.
Oh,
so
right,
then
gotcha.
Favreau then says, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, Kathleen Kennedy has something very special. I think we're definitely getting it."
Yes.
So out she comes, and she announces bringing back someone who is beloved by Star. And Ewan McGregor walks out, and I said, "There it is, right?" And first thing I thought was, "Damn you, Hollywood Reporter!
Yeah.
Damn you for spoiling
Yes.
this!
Yeah.
Damn you for spoiling this!" Because I also say that I understand why they did
Right,
it. It's their job. Someone else would have done it if it wasn't them. I get it, but it's no matter who it was. Damn you for doing it because
so many people have been reporting this thing for a year.
Look, we thought it was going to happen forever, but and I get it. Any website and that has to do it, they have to do it. It's a job.
What was the reaction in the room, though? People were still.
Lost their minds.
It just
People
would have been tenfold.
It would have been tenfold. Well,
And it would have been across social media.
But I also, I will say that from where we were sitting, because we were sitting in the press, it was kind of like, oh, this is awesome, really cool. We knew this was coming. I don't think that general audience knew. I think to them it was a surprise. I think to them they were like, okay, unless like the hardcore Star Wars fans were in there because the buzz was around there and they heard it. But I think people really lost their minds for it, and I really thought it was nice to what Ewan said when he goes, "Ask me," because basically so many people have been asking him for years, "Am I going to be playing Obi-Wan again?" And she asks him, and he says, "Yes." No,
he was so happy.
He was excited. My thing is, like, I wonder how they got Kathleen Kennedy on board to do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just from things that I had heard and things that it's like the movie didn't happen because she was scared about Solo, right? But also I think she thought it was too kind of inside baseball and that people wouldn't want it. You know, so I'm wondering if if because of the TV series and what Favreau and like she's on board with it now.
She sees the potential maybe through Mandalorian.
I think so, and she's had a good relationship with Ewan McGregor and everything too. So I'm glad that she pulled the trigger on it because it's finally going down. And the thing that was said that I think validated everything that we've been talking about. People were like, "Oh, they didn't have a script." Fuck yeah, they had a script. She said on top. She goes, "We already have the scripts written, and we start shooting in like February or something."
Yeah.
It's been in the works forever. Like he didn't just sign that contract last week when we were saying, "Oh, he signed a contract last week." That contract's been signed forever. They are able to get into production now, start filming in February. And I bet you see this a few of the episodes by the end of next year.
Yeah.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan will come out next year.
Let me ask you.
I think 2021.
Yeah. Oh.
It's gonna expected to begin 2020. That's all they say. So
Might get footage.
where are they gonna start filming it? Is it gonna be late 2020, early 2020? Like you're.
You know what, Roxy might be right because you know what you could do. I think what probably will happen is you will get footage and a trailer at Celebration. in August. And then you'll probably get the series in like February.
Yeah, early.
You're probably right.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think? Remember, the rumors were that it was going to be a Star Wars story on its own, Kenobi, blah blah, and Lucas was rumored to be location scouting and possibly helping out a little way. Do you think they adapted the original script to make it longer to turn it into a TV series?
Yes.
That's what because they adjusted by having it being canceled. Then they just moved it around. Do you think the Boba Fett thing, same thing happened with Mandalorian? Or do you think that was all original? They had a Boba Fett story. They just kind of weaved that
yes to the
stuff.
first part, no to the second part. I think that Obi-Wan, that script that they had, they were going to announce that movie. That movie was about to get announced, and then things happened. I think with either Rogue One or Solo.
I think it was Solo because Ewan McGregor was at the Solo premiere, so they were getting ready.
They were getting ready. He's been locked
Solo
down. That movie was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I think because remember the Disney Plus stuff just kind of came like a hurricane, you know. And then he said, "Wait a minute. Now that we have this Disney Plus, let's pull back on the movie because we saw what happened with Solo, and I think that if it was around this time, Solo would have gotten itself a series instead of a movie, which would have been a lot better.
That would have been
a lot better. I think it's too risky to do that right now, but I think that having that, I still stick by it. I know that people have been against my reasoning for it, but I still think that you have Vader inside of this series. I think it works a lot better.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's happening. It's going to go down, and that is going to be it's either going to debut in 2021 or maybe the end of next year. Either way, we're getting an Obi-Wan series.
Crazy.
Everybody happy about that?
Yeah.
This is the one I've been wanting.
Yeah.
For real. This has been the longest time coming because we've all been speculating on Jedi Council, Rule of Two, whatever it is, that there is a story there. More so than any other Star Wars story. Like when you compare it to Solo, we're like, what? I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that. The Obi-Wan story has always been intriguing.
Yeah, it's usually the people that don't understand the lore all the time. They go, there's Disney not doing anything original with the characters.
Yeah, creatively bankrupt.
They don't know what to do. This Obi-Wan, there's so much story to tell in between. Right after Revenge of the Sith, leading up to that's 20 years.
He's essentially Christ. There is missing years where he goes into the desert and comes back. That's what this correlation is to me constantly. And people constantly write about what happened between when Christ walks into the desert and then came out when he's 31, 32, whatever it is. And they're like, what are those missing years, right? People speculate about that. Obi-Wan, same thing. Disappears into Tatooine. All of a sudden shows up as old Obi-Wan taking care of Luke. What happened in between those years? Jesus, exactly. Yeah. And that's what the comic books kind of have touched on or explored. That whole thing with his diary or the journal. Yeah. Like all of that. All those things get you excited. So there's a lot of unexplored stuff that you can have fun with. And Kenobi, who is one of the most beloved, if not the most beloved characters in the Star Wars lore, is the avenue to explore that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Yoda says at the end of Revenge of the Sith, training I still have for you. Yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn has learned to talk to us from the other side.
Right.
So you got to go do that as well. So we could get Qui-Gon Jinn in this thing.
Well, it's someone that said, another question is, well, why do you think this will work and Solo didn't? And I said, well, the difference is also you're getting the guy that played young Obi-Wan back.
Yeah.
If you would have brought, Harrison Ford back as Han Solo in that movie,
De-aged him or something.
it probably would have worked. And it wasn't against Alden at all. I thought for what he did for his acting, it was just a different character, in my opinion. It wasn't a bad representation. It was just a different character, and that's. But this is not a different character. This is Ewan McGregor, and he's Obi-Wan, and he's already aged, which is perfect. He's aged since the prequels. He's at the perfect age for where this story sets place. I think. I don't know. They haven't really say yet, but does it say it right now?
Yeah, I thought it said 7 years before.
The series takes place 8 years. After Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That makes sense. That would make sense. Lining up to kind of where does that land then with where what's his face? The Solo movie took place. How many years before? That was what, 10 years before New Hope, I think. So that was like.
I'm gonna need a homeland.
Yeah.
Word with the red.
Yeah, well, all that stuff. Well, I'm just curious because it goes into the argument. I still don't believe that Darth Maul will be in, nor should be in this series, but a lot of people think that he should be because they don't. From what they set up in Rebels, that was the first time they've met since.
And you don't think so, timeline-wise or story-wise?
More story-wise and timeline-wise, because Darth Maul has been waiting to come back and waiting to go after Obi-Wan, and he doesn't know where he is. He has to go through Ezra to find out where he is, and he finally it would kind of negate all that if it's like, oh yeah, I found him,
but then I lost him. Yeah.
Son of a
right.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Where is this? This is the Obi-Wan.
Oh wow.
It's in between. Yeah, it's right before Solo. So how many years is that?
That would make sense.
It's
so much older.
Yeah, so look where it takes. So before Rebels, way before Rebels.
Oh wow! So Maul could be in this.
Maul could,
He
but
could be
it's
if they set
better
it
for
up.
Vader.
Yeah,
It's better for Vader.
Better
it makes
for
more
Vader.
sense. It's just Maul. It's like I guess
This is
you
a
could do
confusing
that.
diagram.
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. If you were like that. That was the last time they met. Him and Maul. But
What are you looking at here? And then here, and then they
You've
all
already
came
seen
over.
So
Seen
they're
the
saying that
Sunny in
but
Philadelphia memes.
Is this saying that Solo takes place both before and after Obi-Wan? Is that what those two lines are?
Looks that way.
Yes, it
because,
does.
because remember
Okay.
the beginning of Solo, I guess, is the jump because they jump into time a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
'cause it shows
So
them in the
they're
diagram.
so it's in between those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I
Anyway.
say something about
Yeah.
that?
Sure.
I like Star Wars.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys have actually talked about this before, but if Vader does show up in the Obi-Wan series, does that kind of anything that happened in A New Hope kind of just like, oh, okay? Does that, kind of lessen it?
No, it adds to it.
Oh, okay.
I think it adds to it because I think it adds to Return. I think it adds to Return of the Jedi when he says when he says to him,
He's more machine
Vader.
now?
No. When Vader says to Luke, he says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. What we saw in Revenge of the Sith, we didn't see that. We never saw how he found out he was alive.
Do you think he could be referring to something in a different time period we haven't seen?
And people yell at me, of course, he found out he was alive because Episode 4. Yeah, I know. He goes back and he sees him in Episode 4, but he doesn't. That wasn't a reveal to me when he shows up at Episode 4. Like, oh my God, you're alive. It was like, I know that you're this bad dude now.
We sensed him.
Yeah, and he knows it. I think that. To me, he's on Tatooine. He's shut down. He's just trying to stay low. He's just watching Luke, and then boom, something snaps him out of it. He feels something. It's Vader's home planet, so he feels something, and it snaps him out. He's like, I got to go try to rescue my friend. I got to go try to rescue my friend. And he does, and he realizes, oh no, he's more machine now than man.
How great is it too that his apprentice later, Luke, is going to try to do the same thing in Return of the Jedi. They're still good in him, and Obi-Wan's like, nah, you listen. I went down that.
I once thought that.
Right.
But now you gotta kill him.
That's the only way to do it, and Luke was right the whole time.
Because like an epic, because that was all he had is that one thing, letting him burn on Mustafar, and then he's like, you could be dead, but if you make it out of it, we'll see.
And I think there's a dramatic scene or a dramatic element about this series about him finding out that it is Darth Vader. Because he thinks, I don't know if this is in canon material, you'll know better than me. Does he think he's dead? And then somewhere on Tatooine,
they've kind of stayed away from it.
All of a sudden, Darth Vader and this visage of evil walking across the galaxy.
I've been yelled at twice. Oh, I've been yelled at more than twice, but I've been yelled at twice about Star Wars for sure. Is that Palpatine's not coming back. Stop talking about it. They're not going to bring Palpatine back to Episode 9. I was told that I said Obi-Wan, they should make it into a series. It's going to be made into a series. No, not made into a series. So I'm saying I think for this particular one, I think Vader will be back.
Yeah,
that's my prediction on it. But you can yell at me again. If
Can I
you
get two questions?
Yes.
Do you think Mara Jade is in this thing?
No.
Okay. Second question. I saw this online. It kind of interested me. If okay.
Ignore the sound clips. That's why.
I know, that's all right. I like Kristian. He likes to mess with me.
No, that's what they're supposed to be there. But you guys, I know him too, and you're right, Kristian. Is that I know him? He's right behind the thing. He's an engineer. No, he plays it, and he goes, and in his head, he's going, just go with it. Don't acknowledge that they're there. Just go, am I right?
My bad, Kristian.
Yeah. Because he's right. Just ignore the fuck.
Yeah, my bad. I saw online the Force of Sky in the people, whatever was the Rise of Sky. They were like, what if all these Jedi come back to train Rey in this final battle against Kylo, against Palpatine? What if Darth Maul comes back to help train Rey too, because he's got that old grudge against Palpatine
and all that as a Force ghost?
Yeah, possibly. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's too far, isn't it? Is it a line too far?
We've never been told that Sith can do Force ghosts.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, Palpatine's coming back.
We don't know how he's coming back.
But there was something in the trailer. We should talk about that.
All right,
when we get there.
Okay. Sorry, don't mean to jump.
Let's get into the feature film stuff. We'll blast into that, and then we'll close out with Rise of Skywalker because there's so much to talk about. Roxy, stuff that stood out. There's so much in a feature film. I mean, because the first Disney Plus, there was a lot of stuff that leaked. They gave so much exclusive stuff and things that if you guys have questions about as far as footage goes, I'll try to remember whatever I can. But there's so much to give Disney. Disney Animation, Pixar, Star Wars, MCU, live action stuff.
I mean, what do we have? When I'm going through that stuff, we talked about Lady and the Tramp, Frozen.
Oh, right. That was Lady and the Tramp was for Plus also, right?
Yeah, for Plus, but the movie side of things, Frozen,
Cruella.
Then
Maleficent 2.
Maleficent. Moving to Marvel, we talked about Black Panther.
Black Panther 2 was dated.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
The Eternals.
Oh, that was interesting. I saw your tweet on this. So you got me a little more excited about Black Widow based off of what you.
Did they not release anything for Black
Widow?
No,
just the poster.
I haven't seen that.
So they showed a first look of Black Widow. It looks like it looks like it takes place right after Civil War. It starts with Tony Stark saying, they're going to be coming for you, and then she takes off. And she finds I don't know where she is. I forget where she goes. But she finds another female spy, and they square off and they start going at it. Knives fight, like an intense fight, and it's Florence Pugh, who I love, by the way. Yeah. Played Paige in Fighting with My Family, and they're just brawling. And it turns out it's her sister, and they go on this adventure together. And it looks like Red Sparrow, but the Marvel version of it. It looked like Atomic Blonde, but the version I wanted to see, where there was just like more of that kind of intense fighting, but it had the Marvel feel. But it's not. It doesn't seem. There's the villain. I don't know who the villain is that she kind of squares up with. It looks almost like it has her motions, but it's like the anti kind of Captain Marvel meets Captain America, but it's like a mask. It's weird.
Like Bizarro, kind of.
No, not Bizarro. It almost looks like a Tony Stark designed type person that they're fighting, almost like Rhodey or something. I don't know, but they square off, and it looks like it has her motions when they're fighting. So I don't know what it is, but they square off, and it's just it was a great action movie trailer. Not that I wasn't excited for it. I just was like, we'll see what they're gonna do with it. I love the fact that it takes place after Civil War, because it's a little gap that they haven't really gone into. What happened? Where does it go? And it explains where does this take place if we know what happens in Endgame? So I
wanted this to take place after Infinity War.
After Infinity War?
Yeah. In between that and Endgame. That's what I wanted from this.
Yeah. I dig what they did here too, because everybody's on the table. And you also now you can now introduce, depending on what happens with Florence Pugh, you can introduce her into the new movies as they come out, because I think she's a superstar. Yeah. She's a superstar.
I mean, she's got so much stuff she's working on these days, too. She's going to be huge.
David Harbour, I don't know if David Harbour's a bad guy or what he is, but he's her dad. He's their dad.
Rachel Weisz is the villain.
Okay, yeah, they show her briefly.
Melina Vostokov. It's Iron Maiden. She's called Iron Maiden.
Okay, yeah, she's in it. Maybe that's who she squares off with.
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe that's who
I think Florence is taking the mantle. She will be the new Black Widow.
Maybe so.
It feels like.
Maybe so, because it worked. It worked pretty well. and they're all sitting there together at like a table. I liked what I saw.
I could be totally wrong because I didn't read the Black Widow comics at all, but aren't they all Black Widows, Roka? I think
so.
Yeah, initially, yes, but she's the one that becomes like the standard bearer, right?
One, yeah.
And she's probably, and in the comics, which people don't know because of the Avengers movies, can be pretty evil. She's played both sides.
Yeah.
You know, she's
her
got some
sister?
blood.
Her
on
sister?
hands.
No, I think she just was Black Widow.
Black Widow,
well,
yeah.
They've definitely talked about that for
Yeah,
sure.
they've mentioned it.
Yeah. All right. So that was what they showed there. Anything else that you want from the Marvel thing you guys want to know about that they
Eternals, and because Kit Harington was cast, and there was a Deadline article that came out, and everybody started speculating, and then it was revealed he's going to be Black Knight, aka Dane Whitman in Eternals.
A non-Eternal.
A non-Eternal.
Yeah. So they announced it, and right before that started, everyone's like, "Oh, Kit Harington's going to be announced as Wolverine."
Yeah.
Everyone was saying it. He's 5'7". He's
like,
perfect Wolverine.
No.
Oh, I thought he'd been perfect.
No.
I was bummed when they announced him as a non-Eternal. I was like, "That's what you're using him for?"
He's still vulnerable.
I thought not having him come out as Wolverine was a mistake. People said
Well,
Gal
Feige's-
Gadot was too vulnerable to play Wonder Woman.
No, it's just different.
Feige been saying though that they're not going to touch the X-Men for a while, and I just lost
I know.
Peter.
I know.
Gemma Chan was also announced in this movie as well. That came at D23.
Yeah, but
right?
just to go back to the Wolverine thing real quick. Did that take you? Did you hear that he was going to be Wolverine beforehand, or were you upset?
Well, we had talked about that, and also we had talked about Richard Madden,
Yes.
two
Also
Geo,
Eternals.
so two Game of Thrones people, two people who I think both would have been great for Wolverine,
Yeah.
and two people who end up ultimately not being Wolverine.
Mistake that they didn't put Kit Harington as Wolverine.
I think that there's a lot of people who can play Wolverine.
So you're okay with
I'm,
this?
I'm okay with this. I want to see him work, and I don't know when we're getting Wolverine.
Taron Egerton's also been heavily rumored for Wolverine also.
I think he would be not as good as Kit Harington in the role.
I think Kit Harington was
Tom
really
Hardy
good
is the
choice.
best choice, period.
Tom Hardy is a good choice. It's just a question: is he too famous at this point?
I just want to see the old Wolverine, the muscly Wolverine with the cigar, short, the bub. Give me that again.
Do you guys think he could?
For the first time.
Not the fame part, but
Venom.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, well, now it's Sony and MCU's.
It'd be crazy.
Right? And that's, I don't know. But overall, I think that it would have been cool to see him. You're right. They can find someone that can play him. But I think the fact that they said they brought in all these Eternals and and the one non-Eternal, Kit Harington. I'm like, oh.
Totally. I just think that there are some roles that are challenging to cast and others that are not as challenging.
Yeah.
And to me, Wolverine, there's a lot of actors in Hollywood that I'd be like, that'd be great. That'd be great also. Totally, that works. There's a lot of people that could fill that wish list.
Well, Reilly, you have Wolverine's hair. Do you believe that he should be in? Do you think that Kit Harington should have been? Or you're okay? Moving on.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's all right.
All right. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that Kit Harington should have been? Does it matter? Should we find someone else? Who are your choices? Roxy, you had also said that Emma Chan was brought. Gemma Chan was brought on stage.
And then also, I'm just looking at this cast. I mean, Angelina Jolie, Camille Nanjiani, Brian Tyree Henry, Selma Hayek. Like,
it's a big cast. And
whoa.
Yeah, and some, they're just going heavily into the galactic there, and they're going to go into space. So that's going to be coming out. I don't know when. But they didn't.
How do you guys feel? And again, I'm not hoping this. I'm not wishing this. Just curious. What if this movie isn't good?
It's November 6, 2020.
2020 is next year.
What does that mean?
That's always a question. They have not had that problem yet. And by not good, do we mean not good just as far as quality, or both quality and box office?
Both. I guess. If it doesn't do well and it's not good.
That's any one of their movies coming up. Any one of their movies that are coming up, because eventually that will happen. Eventually they're going to put out a movie that, and I'm not talking about disappointing where it's, it was supposed to make 175 and it only made 130. I mean, there's going to be, at one point, they're going to have a movie that misses again. Whenever that happens, that's when everyone's going to start saying, is it over? Is it over? Is the reign over?
You can argue they already had a lower quality film, in my opinion, in Captain Marvel, and it still made over $1 billion. Exactly.
That's my point.
Is your question more quality or more box office? What's your question?
That's what he said. We said both.
Both.
Did you miss that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rox. You're so chill sometimes. I just kind of go along with your vibe. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That was the opening of it.
Totally, but it's funny because he literally like 2 seconds before asked me that clarification. Both. So if it doesn't do well financially, and if it also is not critically acclaimed.
Yeah, that's a good point because the last one was Iron Man 2. The last one was Iron Man 2 that was both critically bad and financially bad. So that would be interesting. Now.
Yeah. So anyway, so that movie, that was the majority of the stuff that they announced with Marvel. There wasn't anything else big, right? That we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
The other stuff that was really popped was that stole the show for me was animation, and Disney animation and Pixar, right?
So what do we have besides Frozen?
We got this movie coming out with Tom Hardy, and Soul's cool, but Tom Hardy and Chris Pratt.
Oh no, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Onward from Pixar.
This is something you could
I
have
know.
written.
I know.
Onward is by far my most anticipated animation coming out in a very long time.
God, I wish I could have seen
So it starts off with the trailer. They showed like 8 minutes of this footage.
Wait, but did we see a trailer for this earlier this year that I didn't love? Where we're going through a town, it's like Pleasantville kind of, but not at all.
Yeah, but they don't really.
But
get
it's
into,
fantasy elements.
They don't really get into what this thing's really about.
Okay.
It is emotional. It is funny. So it starts off. You didn't see this, man. I'm telling you.
You wrote about it, and I got emotional when you wrote about it. I tweeted about it, so I don't.
Okay. So yeah, for you for sure, for sure. Yeah, this thing's gonna turn you into a blubbering mess.
Yes.
So this movie, it starts off like you said. You see the kind of what it used to be, the magic, the fantasy, how it was, and then it fast forwards in time, and everybody's domesticated, and the elves and unicorns are eating trash, and they're running stuff that.
Ooh, it's like squirrels.
They really are. And so Tom Holland plays the younger brother. Chris Pratt plays the older brother who like loves magic, and he's kind of like the dude. He's got his own van, and their mother's played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and she says, "Your dad left you guys gifts after your 16th birthday, and his dad had passed away." So they give him they give him this gift. It's this staff, and he leaves him. He says that here's this for one day. If you do this spell, I'll come back for a day.
Oh.
And they say, all right, let's try it. So it's very funny and endearing. He's trying to do it, and Chris Pratt's out there, and he's like doing the spell, and it's not working. It's just not happening. And they fast forward. He's trying. It looks like it takes hours. And the mother and the brother are waiting, so nothing. So they have the staff, and then Holland picks it up. Holland's character, and he just kind of says it, and it starts rattling. So he picks it up again. And his brother comes running. He's like, "Whoa, it's working!" So he starts doing that, what you see in the picture there, and he's firing it down. And the shoes pop up, and then the legs pop up, and he's like, "Dad, you're coming back, right?" And then the chip on the thing, the stone on the top breaks, and it just stops working. So he's like, "Oh man, I don't know what happened. It wasn't working." But he said, "Oh, little brother, you can do magic. You have the gift." But then they hear something kind of rattling, and they see the legs, and they go, "Dad." But it's just the legs. It's the legs and the shoes, and they had the legs and the shoes, and the dad and the dad starts like walking, and this is the part that people are going to get very emotional about. The legs, he's like kind of moving around. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, right? He's like moving around, and then he's like, "Oh my God, that's all you got, a dad." And then so he's like, "No." The Chris Pratt's like, "I know how to talk to him," so he grabs his foot, because he can't hear, because he's just legs, and so Chris Pratt taps his foot and starts doing this like music thing, and he stops, and he's like, "Yeah, it's me, it's Barley." And then he moves over. Yeah, and then he moves over here, and he's like, "Yeah." And I forget what Tom Holland's character is. Like, "Yeah, that's him." And they dress him up, and they put him in like a Weekend at Bernie's type outfit where he's like flopping around and stuff too. And they go on this adventure to find the stone so they can bring him back for a day.
Wow.
And the writer and the director, he lost his dad, and his brother had this relationship, and that's why they wrote the story. It's phenomenal.
I cannot believe how much they botched the trailer. If this is the story, because.
Well, they want to make, but they make the wide trailer premiere, right, to show you here's the world. Oh, it's like fantasy creatures in today's domesticated.
So they did it for Inside Out, not Inside Out, Zootopia.
Right. So you get the kids excited. There's unicorns eating trash, and now you
was
get.
Was that them?
Zootopia? Yeah, it was Disney Animation.
Not Pixar.
Not Pixar. But they did the same type of thing where they just. Because I remember seeing Zootopia. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it was really good actually.
And then so this, it is emotional. It is very funny between the two of them. I think people are going to love this movie.
Yeah,
for
looks
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, going to find the other half of your father to bring him back, and they're probably just going to get like a little bit of time,
time
for
at
a
the
final
end.
scene and some kind of advice, and we're all going to be hugging each other, crying on top of each other like idiots.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It blew me away.
But I agree with Roxy. That first trailer was not good.
No.
Yeah, no,
I didn't get excited about it. At all.
You will, because they showed 8 minutes of this movie, and I was like, damn it, I wish they would have showed the rest of it because it was so good. I'm very excited.
You mean
for this
just
one.
the whole movie?
I know the whole thing. Just show the whole thing.
Damn it! Why
Can't
didn't you show the whole movie?
I know.
I know.
How dare
The other
you,
one was
Disney.
Soul. Soul's very interesting.
Soul looks good.
Soul is, and Jamie Foxx, I think, plays the antagonist, protagonist.
Tina Fey.
And Tina Fey. Well, so this is another movie that's kind of right up your alley, Reilly. So souls are trained. Souls are trained at this school, and then when they're ready, they pop into a body. And so this one soul pops into his body, but then realizes that he's got more to him, and he starts playing like jazz, and he's playing the piano. He's like, yeah, he's got
jazz?
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing jazz, and he's like, he's got it, and he falls down a manhole and dies. And so the soul goes back, and he's like, I gotta get back. So Tina Fey helps him try to get back. And it's really a lot of great voices. Like I said, Jamie Foxx is in it, and it's just I think.
Oh, Jamie Foxx is Pixar's first black leading man in a new film, Soul.
I think so, yeah.
That makes sense.
And it is. Yes,
I mean, it makes no sense, but
No, that, looking at the history of it.
Yeah, but now, they're changing it. They're changing it now, and the movie looked very interesting, very fun. Also, I mean, for lack of a better word, it has a lot of soul. It was Pete Docter directs this one. Classic Pete Docter. My most excited casting though in this was Daveed Diggs. From that's the movie that you loved, the one
it was like a music something. I mean,
it was the one that came out with Javina Gavon. No, he was the lead. Blindside. Thank you.
Blindside.
Not Blind Spot.
No,
Blind
Spotting.
Spotting. Not
Yeah.
Blindside. Blind Spotting. Yes.
You said Blindside. I went, oh,
yeah,
that.
he said it. No, Blind Spotting.
Questlove.
Blind Spotting. He was the lead in Blind Spotting.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Felicia Rashad. Questlove.
That's not what I know.
Trent
Daveed
Reznor
Diggs
and
from.
Atticus Ross doing the score. That is incredible.
Yeah. You're doing a score, and then there's a lot of music. Anyway, so those were the two big ones there. I think. What else? There was the other one. Oh yeah, was it Navita and
Interesting. Daveed Diggs was also a voice in Ferdinand and Zootopia.
Okay, what was the other one? The
he was in
dragon.
Wonder.
There's a dragon movie also that they said it was there's something in The Last Dragon. Was the other movie that is right? They're making movies for you. I'll tell you right now. Disney, the last Raya and the Last Dragon is what it is. So this movie,
that's right.
They didn't show a lot of it except that Raya is.
What is this? Who is this?
So this is Disney again. Disney
animated.
They show the beginning, and there's a woman walking through the forest, right? And if you don't think that it looks live action. I mean, straight up live action. And you see this woman walking through. I'm like, what is, this is animated? And then when she reveals, it looks more like Moana-ish when she reveals her face, but the whole thing. And she finds this last dragon. The last dragon is voiced by Awkwafina. And so they find her and her brother find, and then that's kind of where the reveal is. But they're going more in the fantasy.
It's a retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk.
That's cool. I didn't know that, but it's a fantasy tale, and they're leaning more into the fantasy stuff.
No, Gigantic was.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think this was,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was more stuff that was really cool, and they really didn't show a lot of stuff to the public. I take it too, because this is all stuff that you would have lost your mind to for sure. You would have really dug this, Reilly.
Yeah, well, Disney said I couldn't go, so
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there anything other movies that we missed out on? Maleficent 2. I'm starting to not come around on it because I don't. The first movie, I don't love it. But now that I've accepted what the first movie kind of is, and that I just can't stand when. First of all, she's not the Mistress of Evil because she's good. She's an anti-hero now.
Yeah.
She was evil in the original animated. And Michelle Pfeiffer is clearly the villain in this movie. Stop telling me that this is. And they even announce it. Oh, we find out why she became so evil. No, we didn't at all. We didn't find out why she was evil at all. We found out why she got pissed off and put a spell on her, and then felt bad about it, and then took it off. She didn't get stabbed by Philip and fall down the ditch in this one.
Yeah, I always think it's dangerous because like the first iteration, you were basically saying, you know what they did in the 40s? That's a lie. That whole film's a lie. This is the truth of it. And it's like, how can you undercut your classic film like this. It's weird.
It's just a different. But that's why I say this one. Now that the first one is out there, this is a continuation of that, and now I'm accepting that this is more like I disconnected from Sleeping Beauty altogether, and it's just a different movie. And you look at it that way because she's kind of part of this ancient race, and they get involved in it. I think it's Chiwetel Ejiofor. It plays one of her kind also. So I'm more. I'm probably accepting of this one than I was probably the last one, but I got to say it. Roxy, you like the first one a lot.
I really liked the first one. I'm not the largest, as you guys, I think I've said this before, I'm not the largest Angelina Jolie fan.
Okay.
That's right.
But I really like the movie.
Yeah.
Something about her kind of freaks me out a
Freaks
little
you
bit.
out?
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't seem
Freaks,
to...
not bugs.
No, not bugs, freaks. I can't seem to disconnect reality when I'm seeing her on screen because I feel like she's always kind of playing a slight version of herself.
Oh, okay.
And I think about blood swapping with Billy Bob,
Right.
and also just there's something about, and no body shaming, but she's so thin that she's got that alien look. Obviously, she's gorgeous, but there's something about her face. When she's on screen, I can't stop looking at her and not thinking about what I'm watching.
Oh.
So there's something about her performance.
She's mesmerizing to you.
Yeah, different, but it doesn't work in her favor for
that particular because you're not concentrating on the movie.
no, I'm just thinking what?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, moving on from that. There's Cruella. They didn't really show much except the fact that little teasers they showed. There was a teaser.
Oh, there was a teaser.
I mean, not really even a teaser. Emma Stone's like, "Hey guys, we're gonna be filming right now," and she's looking over the time. She's like, "Stop that! Stop it! Stop stealing my light! You're stealing my light!" And she's yelling at someone. She's like, "Stop it!" And they pan down. It's a Dalmatian. Yeah. And then they showed a picture of her with the two dogs. Cool. That was really it.
But that was live on stage.
That was the one that they showed.
Looks good, though.
Yeah, it looks cool. That was the image that they showed. And I love the dude on the left from Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah.
I love that dude, the big dude, and he was also in I, Tonya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my buddy Paul Walter Hauser. Shout out.
It's your buddy, and he hasn't.
He was.
And he hasn't been
Street
on the
Food
show.
Cinema host.
And he hasn't been on the show.
Jesus.
Because why, Alex?
I'll hit him up.
No, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, Alex. Sorry, we're talking about big things, but also, can we check in with Alex?
Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we just have so much to cover right
Good
now. But
point.
I do want to cover that.
We got to
for
cover
sure.
it.
Yes, I want to see what's going on.
Let me tell you guys about Lady and the Tramp and why people were bothered by the poster.
Yes, the poster. There it is.
So this was unbeknownst to me. I went on Screen Junkies on Friday, and they were all flipping out over this poster.
They didn't like the poster.
Oh, they all across the board hated
Let's
it.
see if we guess. Let's see if we look at it. We're looking at this poster. I see two. It's not. I'm hoping it's not like a social thing. I hope.
Nope.
It's, okay.
Nope.
It's
a visual thing.
It's a visual thing. All right, the spaghetti's there.
No. So I'm going to just tell you.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Because you're not. I don't think you're. If you didn't guess it immediately, you're not going to guess it.
What's Christmas? Oh.
Nope. Apparently, they've taken human eyes and put the human eyes on real dogs.
Let me see. Zoom in to the eyes, please.
That's what they kept claiming. I don't know. I don't know the truth of that or whatever it is. They've animated eyes onto real dogs.
They also animated their mouths moving.
I don't know. They said it looks weird. They had issues with this in general. I thought this looked like two cute rescue dogs sitting across the table from each other,
Doesn't
just a
bother me.
bunch of mutts hanging out. But apparently,
So obviously, all these people we're talking about, they don't have dogs in their life, and so they're having problems with this poster.
Doesn't bother me. Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Well, all right. Well, that's
yeah,
Look at
but
these
then
cute
I
fucking
saw
dogs.
The internet was crazy
We're
about
going to
it.
have 15 minutes to talk about the race stuff, so I want to make sure anything else that we need to cover that we missed, any other movies, any big ones?
Wow, I'm sure. I'm sure we missed
We
it.
missed a lot,
but we still have a couple
news
days.
is crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, well, you had Tom Holland coming out
Oh, that was the yeah.
at Disney D23 and
For that
saying-
movie, for the Onward, yeah.
for Onward, and didn't really talk about it. But he said it's been a crazy week. I love you 3000.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a nice.
Yeah, you can tell
Little
he
nod
wasn't.
and
Yeah.
But they moving for some.
He's probably crushed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to be crushed.
So
They
this is
are
what-
moving forward. They've already secured the writers who wrote Far From Home to write Spider-Man 3. whatever it's called, and Tom Holland is expected to return, but it's not going to be connected to MCU anymore.
He seemed to be happy
Until
in
we
an
know.
interview with EW, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna create something great. I've already gotten together with creatives about this. The third Spider-Man. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do something new and interesting. It's a fantastic time." But
Inside, he's crying.
I think I agree with Rox. Like inside, he's like,
Yeah, he looked sad when he said it. When he said, it's been a tough week. And
Yeah.
he said, but I love you 3000. Like he was basically, I think he was saying goodbye to the.
"Yeah, because that's how
the audience
Tony
for-
says goodbye."
Yeah.
They played a lot of footage from previous clips of his. If you guys saw interviews of him, like over and over, being like, "If ever I'm doing a Venom movie, he's got to come to me. I'm never leaving MCU. I'm never leaving." And it was like, wow.
Yeah, and the Sony's guy, words are coming back to bite him in the ass too, because he said the reason they gave the MCU creative control is because they know what they're doing. And kind of coming up. All right, listen. Let's move on because we want to cover this stuff. The Star Wars stuff. So the movie. We knew there wasn't going to be a trailer because there was kind of buzz about whether it was going to be, but
It was kind of a trailer.
No, but there was questions whether it was going to be a real trailer.
Right.
And the reason even beforehand we were talking about it, you would have heard some kind of rumblings of something coming, some kind of trailer, and they're going to usually debut that during Monday Night Football. So we weren't shocked, and especially when they started off the panel with Star Wars. It was the first one out, which they're definitely not getting a trailer. They brought the cast out. People were talking. JJ was talking, and Carrie Russell just talked. Basically, she's had a past relationship with Poe. Then Oscar Isaac and John Boyega kind of goofed a little bit about, hey, wait a minute, pretending he was jealous because all the rumors about them having a relationship.
He said he was experimenting.
Yes. But then they showed this thing that released today. Everybody got a chance now, hopefully, to see this now because they released it today, and it was kind of like a first look. And it starts off, and the first thing you see is the twin sons and Luke, and it goes through the original trilogy,
Legacy
then
trailer.
back into the prequels, and it leads up all the way through the new trilogy here, and then we see this vision of them kind of going into this village. Where's this village? What's this adventure that they're all going on together? Another thing that they're pulling from the comics, they have C-3PO, but it was a different droid, but he's got the red eyes.
Yeah.
That's West War droid type shit going down. They show all the starfighters that was a great
That
scene.
is my favorite shot in a lot of Star Wars. I mean, it's new, but my God, that was beautiful.
That was really cool.
Cool.
That was good. And then they have the fight between Kylo and Rey on some whatever it is, and they're in the
Looks
water.
like Death Star wreckage.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I
it
saw
looks
the
like.
turret.
But while they're fighting, you also hear your journey has come to an end.
And some kind of breathing thing.
Yeah, it sounded like Vader a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then with that reveal, you see Rey with the hood, and then it almost looked like nunchucks at first, but then it turned out to be the double-bladed kind of Sith saber. So then everybody starts talking about it. What does this mean?
Yeah.
So I start with you, Roxy. What does this mean?
Well, I know the least of anybody in this room, but I guess the question is real or vision? I mean, is this something that's actually happening, or is this something?
What do you say?
I think that the fact that they're showing this means that it's probably a vision, but you can make an argument for either side, actually.
You're going to say vision.
If I had to.
Riley.
We know JJ does the mystery box. He wouldn't reveal this unless it was like this reveal without showing it to us would be very important plot-wise in the movie to witness it there. So I'm going on Vision or she could be a clone.
You taking my theory?
I think it's clone.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait, Vision or clone?
It's clone. That's my theory.
I saw a lot of Rey clones. I still don't know if that's a mainstream thing, and so I would be surprised if they did that.
I'm going to change your opinion.
Maybe.
Change your opinion.
Here's what else.
You could definitely change mine.
I see Roxy's point.
Well, they've already set it up that she's a clone. I'll tell you.
Okay, I've seen Roxy's point about being. That's why I naturally went. But remember, Rey has always been very determined to turn Kylo, and even in the throne room, she is trying to convince him to turn on Snoke. So Rey always seems to have, in a mental way, kind of half a step ahead of everyone else. And I wonder if she concedes a bit to go with the Emperor in order to turn Kylo and redeem him and fight and pull him back.
Reverse psychology almost.
Yeah,
I love
almost.
that.
Where she kind of works with him and then she shows him the way back to redemption because she's willing to go into the darkness and then still walk back out into the light.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that they've been setting up clone from the beginning.
Look at the Vision in 8.
You're taking all my theories.
Oh, sorry.
So
you want to talk together then?
You're saying that the one that we saw is her clone. or that she is a clone?
So what we have seen, whether or not that version of her that we see in this trailer is the Rey that we know or not, I don't know. It could be not. But the one thing that I say is absolutely what Reilly just said. Episode 8, right? They are. She's in that cave and she's hoping to see her future, and all she sees is a whole bunch of rays and a click, and that's all she gets. That's supposed to show you where you come from. The other thing is maybe Kylo wasn't lying. Filthy junk traders, right? But they weren't her parents. They were people who were raising this version of the clone.
Yeah.
The Emperor was building and working on Jakku for a reason, because there's a Sith temple underneath Jakku. There are Sith relics underneath. He's been working. It's very strong in the dark side that he's been working, playing. Snoke, what girl? He knew something was going on with the girl, right? The Emperor has been doing stuff with this particular with the clone. I've also said that because of that floating hand thing that was supposed to happen in episode 7, it was supposed to be there was a shot of the floating hand that was supposed to be a big part of Luke's hand from after he gets it cut off by Vader. It was supposed to have some kind of significance, and they just got rid of it.
So you think clone?
I think that she's cloned from Luke. I think she's cloned from Anakin. I think she's cloned from Palpatine. I think she's.
You think she's cloned from all of them?
I think he has been taking
like
samples.
Petri dish.
Petri dish for the most powerful Sith he can create
ever, because then it explains
Who
why.
from who?
Yeah,
Who can
man.
create?
We got Roka.
Wait, that who can create?
Palpatine.
Palpatine
has been doing this.
Your journey has now come to an end.
So
because he thinks that. Because think about it, he has been taking these samples from all of these people from all over history and doing all this research on how to bring bringing back people, right? And he's able to do that with himself. But then he's able to clone all these different powerful people. That answers your question then. How is she just able to mind read like that?
Yep.
Because she's a motherfucking the most powerful thing of all time. And she's able to how is she able to pick up the lightsaber so quick? Right there. You have all the answers.
But what was his guarantee that she would be bad?
Well, we don't know. That's the other thing I thought about. Here's two other things. Kylo Ren says to Hux in episode 7, maybe we do another clone army.
Yep.
It's already been in the works, right? But as far as being bad goes, Order 66, Palpatine, click the button, and all these troopers, these clones that were good guys, friends, turned on the drop of a hat.
So you think that he thinks he could turn her ultimately?
Or it's just a switch. It's just another switch, something that could happen. Maybe she's been out in the world.
Why hasn't he done it yet then?
Because that's not part of the plan yet. Your journey has come to an end.
So what is the plan ultimately then?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
What if Rey walks up? We've seen Rey.
Like
we saw this.
Yeah.
We saw this trailer now. Rey is fighting Kylo Ren somewhere in the ocean on this thing. What if she goes in to the area where the Emperor is, and that's where the clone appears, and we have Rey fight her clone? That's a theory
also
I'm
possible.
having.
Also, I mean, because of that snap and because of all those different versions, maybe there are more Reys out there. Maybe and does it get science fiction-y? Yeah, sure. But Clone Wars is very science fiction-y. Rebels, when done right, it can work. When you first hear about it as a Star Wars, I don't know. But if you see it and it's executed the right way, that could be Rey fighting Rey, or she's got to snap and she's got to be brought back.
Let me ask you this: if it's not a clone, if that is not a clone, what do you think's happening? Or do you think there's no shot?
I hope it's not a vision. I just think another vision or a dream is lazy. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Well, 'cause I want that.
Yeah,
I
but
kind
it's
of agree with
it's just like,
that.
I see myself as a Sith. If I'm not dangerous, if I don't take care of myself and right down the path, I could turn bad. Yeah, that's everybody. That's everybody.
I do it in every Star Wars conversation. Dark Empire is one of my favorite books. It's not canon, but Luke Skywalker goes to the dark side to basically save the rebellion again for the Emperor.
This is what I think is happening.
So
I
what
hear
if?
your
And
call.
now you just jarred it loose again, Roka. Yeah, your theory. What if she does go to the dark side? I have to learn that side.
Yes.
In order to
pull Kylo
infiltrate.
back.
to infiltrate,
And pull
maybe
Kylo
not even
back.
knowing that she's doing that. Maybe that's not the intention right away.
If
She'll
this was
speak to
three,
him the
if
whole
this was
time.
3 movies, I'd give
Yes,
it to you.
I
in
would- I know.
But in one movie to reveal that the Emperor is back, why is he back? What's his plan? What's he been working on? Well, I've been working on this. And the other thing they've talked about is tying together all 9 movies.
Yep.
You tie it together with the clones and potentially Order 66. You tie it together, Episode 5 together with the Hand. You tie it together with things in the past, with Plagueis. You can tie.
Does would her being a clone potentially make her related to Kylo then?
She would be related to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, because she comes from the DNA of all of these great warriors and great people, and Palpatine himself. So if that is the case, because imagine also Darth Bane, all these other things that he is, because in the novels and in comics, he's been collecting all these relics and going to the outer regions to find all these Sith artifacts, and maybe this was the goal, to create the ultimate Sith weapon. Because the Sith troopers are also appearing in this, and they had descriptions. It's not just it's just them dressing to pay homage. No, they're taking like old art, like they're going back into time. Whatever I forget what the description was of how they're doing actual Sith troopers and what they're doing. These Sith troopers are trained in like the arts.
Yeah, but look, I think you make great points, and echoing the clone stuff. My concern is I don't know. So you're saying that Rey, from the beginning, has been a clone.
Yes.
I don't know if the public will be happy with that in the mainstream. And for the nerds, yes, the Star Wars nerds will love it. But the mainstream public, who you want to come and see it over and over again, will be like, wait, so this girl we've been following for 2 movies, this symbol of empowerment, we're going to turn her into a clone that a dude created?
Why can't a clone have empowerment? Look at Ex Machina.
Then you start arguing that whole point. Well, is it have self-actualization or not? Or is it being controlled? And that's where I start to worry.
I think sometimes we got to go over just like what people are going to think and whether or not it's going to be socially acceptable.
No,
I don't know, but I'm saying
I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, as storytellers, what I'm saying is storytellers, you got to tell the best story, because if you tell the best story and it works and it all makes sense, then the public is going to say that's a good story.
But can I give you my 30-second counter? Because you said everything's connected. It's also connected from the first time Luke goes into that tree and fights himself. Everyone's always been afraid to face the dark, to go too deep in the dark. So Yoda says, Kenobi else comes. Well, she's not. She's willing to go into it because she can come back out of it.
It's a good
point.
point.
And that's what I think it still would be connected.
It's a good point, but the thing is,
I hear your point too.
My thing is just what's the overall thing for Palpatine? Because if it's just like Palpatine, I'm back.
Well, then that takes away from Return of the Jedi. But also with Rey, wouldn't it be fascinating to see Rey gripping with the fact I'm going to go back to Jakku and find my parents, and then it's like, you don't have parents. You're a clone.
You were raised by those drunk traders.
What does that do for her?
So we keep using the term clone, right? And when I think clone, I think, okay, Kristian, I'm taking your DNA and I am making you again.
Right.
You have died. I have cloned you. I make a new Kristian. Right. He looks like Kristian. He talks like Kristian. Yeah. That's not what you guys are saying, correct? You're not saying that this is the daughter of somebody and then they took that person and cloned them. You're saying that they, in a petri dish, took all this different DNA and handmade a person.
Almost Frankenstein. All clone troopers were taken from Jango Fett, right? But then modified and changed and turned into the super soldier. And that is what they're probably going to do.
It's another thing that unites the whole saga.
But are you saying that there's multiple people that look exactly like her, or are you saying there's one and she is it?
I'm not sold on either one of those theories. I'm just saying, I think one way or another she is probably designed from a whole... Since that floating hand thing, I just never sat with the fact that, they just got rid of it. It was supposed to be the opening of the movie, and they shot it. And it was supposed to be the opening of the movie, and then I think it plays into a lot of those visions that we saw in Episode 7. That why is all that stuff there?
Do you think it's possible that it's half that she is like her mom gave birth to her, but with a mixture of all different?
Think she was modified?
Yeah,
maybe. But I think it's more because if you go to those visions, how does she know about the Bespin thing? It's not just because of the lightsaber. And if it was, how is she mentally able to see all of that? They never explore it again. She goes into, there's so much stuff, even with these are your first steps. Like, what were your first steps? There's so many questions.
Also, the Kanata thing, right? She says your future's not back here; it's forward. Right. This is what you're searching for is forward. It's not back. So you might. I mean, I'm saying you could be right, and there's certainly evidence to point towards.
I think people hear clone right now and they go, "Oh man, it's so science fiction-y. I don't know, clones." But if you think about what Palpatine has done and what he has done as far as research, and he's able to bring himself back. Like, why hasn't he been... Because look at her.
I don't think of it as science fiction-y when you break it down. It's more like stem cell research.
Yeah.
Like, we're not...
You're making a cocktail.
Yeah, you're making a cocktail and you're birthing it.
Yeah, I mean, because she's... In that picture, right, they're flashing on the screen, like, can you guys zoom into her face? Like, she's, like, pale. Yeah. Like, that's full-on dark side Sith shit right there. Yeah. That's not just like, I'm trying to pretend to tap into the dark side. That is, I am converted.
Angelina Jolie.
Right.
That's where I think it makes more sense that is a clone, a Sith clone of Rey, and that she's going to face herself.
Which would be interesting. And it's because...
They've set themselves up for success here because there's so many interesting storylines.
Yeah. Just don't flashback to me is dull.
Yeah.
It's so dull, and it's just like
It's like when you wake up and it's a dream.
Yeah,
you know, it's not real, and I want it to mean something for the plot and the characters.
And this would if they do it that way. But curious for what you guys think because we're almost out of time here. Do you guys think that is Rey a clone? Is it a flashback? Is it legit? Did she just go to the dark side and does Kylo have to bring her back? Very curious what you guys think.
I was saying Vision. You think possible flashback?
Vision or Vision more so Vision
okay.
more so Vision.
So you don't think this is something from her past that she's realizing?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, who knows? But no, I think that is something. That's something else. If you go back to flashback and you reveal but the thing is as a young girl.
Yeah.
I want to give a spoiler to Knights of the Old Republic. It's from 2003. So if you haven't played the game, then you probably shut off the show now. Okay.
Oh God!
So shut it off. Okay. In the game, this is the thing that I told you. My favorite twist is you're playing as this character for the whole time, and it turns out because they keep talking about Darth Revan, he was the baddest Sith Lord of all time. Turns out you are Darth Revan, and they've basically got you under this amnesia type spell as a Jedi, to where you're fighting for them, and then you snap out of it. What if that's what happened with her? Maybe they take the Knights of the Republic. I don't think that's the case, but what if they take that from the game?
That would
and
be
she
crazy.
was a badass, but how come we've never heard of her? Maybe she's an ancient Sith Lord. I don't know, but I happen to think it's more of the line of they created her because she remembers herself as the little girl.
Yeah.
So unless that was just a bullshit vision like Matrix, when you have all these fake memories and
Gotta love
all
the
the
Matrix.
things. But right. But what if you have what if they just implanted fake memories into her? Either way. Cool stuff, cool
Very
vision.
cool.
They got the conversation going. So, want to hear what you guys are thinking. We didn't get to the phone lines because there's so much to talk about today. But
Tomorrow.
not just tomorrow.
Today.
But today we're going to be doing a pre-tape. It'll be Roxy, Dorina, Reilly, and Roca. We're going to be doing a pre-tape for the Friday show. So keep the phone lines on. I mean, they're going to start taping.
We'll make sure that people know it's out there. We'll tweet it out.
We'll tweet it out too. So it'll be within the next 5 or 10 minutes. You guys start calling in, get your phone calls in. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow. But get your tickets. We're going to New York. That's one of the reasons we're not going to be here
Can I
tonight
come?
live. You can come. Jeff Snyder will be going for the title against Paul Oyama. Get the tickets. Come to New York. The Schmoedownlive.com. Tickets available still. And get those tickets. You want to see the Shire Wolves, their last match? The Schmoedownlive.com. Just browse around on the Schmoedownlive.com. And last but not least, get those tournament brackets in today. SD Singles 2019 at gmail.com to win VIP tickets or a poster of your choosing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yay, speculating.
Aliens and shit.